The game at hand is upon us. We know how it usually goes. Late kick-offs are always a bit more of a relaxed type of vibe. We usually have some viewers from North America pop in during this stream as well, so hopefully that's the case today. But for those that are here early, hi. Hello. How you staying? What's happening? It's game day. We're up against the Dons. We're in Pittodrie today. We have to beat Aberdeen. Pretty straightforward. I mean, Aberdeen have been pretty weird this season. They've picked up some pretty cool results here and there, but more often than not they have been a pretty disappointing side to watch. So I don't really have an honest approach for this one, to be honest. I think it's going to be a relatively close game. Let's start off with that, right? I mean, I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut as people are making it out. It could be a comfortable run out today, but based on the lineup and stuff, I think I've kind of had to adjust. My original prediction was, I think, kind of more along the lines of like a 3-1, 3-0, but I think with some of the changes that we've seen to the lineup tonight, it probably would just be wise to kind of rein it back. And again, Aberdeen always tend to give us a good match at Pittodrie, so there is that chance that they can show up. But we have won 4 out of our last 5, so there is that to kind of work on as well. It's going to be interesting for sure. I think obviously the key thing for us, if you want me just quickly pull up all the things that I need to pull up, because again I think our lineup is, I like it. I want to clarify, I'm not opposed to this given the circumstances that we've got to work with, but if you want a little look, there is our lineup there. Obviously you know that it isn't Schmeichel in between the sticks, and Asalo holds his spot, which is always nice to see, but our lineup is predominantly what you would expect. But one or two changes that you might want to keep an eye on, obviously, is that there's no Maeda starting today, which is an interesting one. You've got Tenekte and Yang that are starting either side of Shvanchara in the middle, but the one thing that I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, a couple of match days at least, is that it would be nice to see Luke McCowan actually get into a normal midfield rotation rather than playing him out as a striker or as somewhere that's a bit unique to his style of play. Put him in a central attacking midfield role and let him run at the players, let him shoot for range, let him do what he needs to do, and it seems that that's the approach for Martin O'Neill's side today. So I like it. I don't mind it at all. I mean, the front four makes sense to me. I think it's a reasonable kind of system to go with. We've got the advantage, of course, of if we need to, bringing Maeda off the bench. I know there's been some talks about his contract that have been going on over the last few days, but if you want a little look at the bench, we do have options that we can go for, as do Aberdeen, of course. If you want a couple of key players to keep an eye on for them, probably Robin and Lazetic, they'd be the two to kind of keep an eye out for, in my opinion. Maybe Keskinen as well. They can be a little bit of a threat when they do play well, so there is that to kind of focus on. But for us, off the bench, we do have a lot of options that we can rely on, especially in the midfield. Players like Nygren, players like Chamberlain, and of course, if you want to go for a more attacking option, we've got players like Forrest and Maeda that we can rely on if we need to. So I don't mind that. I think it's pretty reasonable. Obviously, for me, the key thing was just seeing Neves and Asalo held his spot. He wasn't particularly called upon in the game against Rangers. I mean, it was a pretty tense first half for those that were there to watch that alongside us. It was a hell of a game, but we responded, and I think as long as we take that second half performance into the first half at Pittodrie, it should be, in translation, pretty straightforward. The score prediction is kind of the same as the last match. I think it's going to be a bit closer than people are in their head making it out to be, because yeah, look, the Dons are struggling for form. They've not been particularly great, but they've got that ability to dig out a good game. We were talking about that with the Hibs match beforehand, how their form is always on and off, but whenever they play Celtic or Rangers, they tend to up the ante a little bit, and they obviously got that result at Celtic Park off the back of it. So we tend to keep an eye on those types of things just to make sure that there's nothing that could be potentially catastrophic to us. Nice to see you, Kev. Hope you're well. Will we get the win today? Yeah, I mean, just as long as we get across the line, Kev, you're pretty much in the same type of ballpark. Hope you're good, bud. Celtic need the win today, absolutely, Stephen, 100%. Nice to see you, Sparky Spark, what a name. Love to see it. And likewise with you, Arda, as always. I was seeing you in some of the comment sections, the other Celtic thingy channels, man, it was class. It's like, oh, I recognise that guy, it's minted to see. And oh yeah, fucking nice. Speaking of getting recognised, there was a fella that did actually recognise me when I was out of the store a few days ago, so shout out Kev. It was really nice to meet you, man. That was nice, I don't know if it's the same Kev that's put the first message in chat. I think that'd be like highly unlikely, but there was a fella that bumped into him outside the store, so shout out that guy. The game of the weekend was a game of two halves. Yeah, it was a game of two very different halves. I mean, the first half we were absolutely awful. It kind of gave me the same vibes as that Leipzig match in the Champions League last year. If you remember how bad the first 40 minutes of that game was, it was basically that but at Ibrox. But the second half was a lot better. It was just because we simply took off the players that couldn't be arsed and put on some players that wanted to put a shift in. It wasn't to disrespect Adamu, but he was just not really the hold-up player that was needed for that scenario. He would have preferred a bit of pace, and more importantly, I think in the midfield, taking off Chamberlain for a tie was actually a smart call. It gave us that free roaming option. So I think we just look at it from that perspective. We kind of work with what we got, and I think, again, today's the same type of thing. We don't need to be at our best to win, but we certainly need to be something. We can't just show up and expect the 3 fucking points. It's not going to happen. Like I said, Pataudry is one of those places. It causes problems for us at really inconvenient fucking times. We do not need that today, ideally, so as long as we can, then a win would be nice. As long as it's a win, 3 points is all that fucking matters. Will Celtic go for the Motherwell manager? I've heard a lot of talks about it because Askell has put in a hell of a shift for Motherwell this season. I mean, I've been saying it for months. A lot of people have been talking about like the kind of precipice of like Falkirk season and how good Hearts have been, but I've always kind of said, if you go back to VODs even back in like, you know, start of November, I was like, keep an eye on Motherwell. Askell's got a good system, but once it clicks, once he has his boys back fully fit, he'll actually go on a decent run. And I mean, he's went on a much better run than I thought he would have. I'll give him that much. I mean, again, if we don't win today, then if we lose to Motherwell in the league next time out, they hop us. It's that straightforward. That's how good the side for Fir Park has been. It's nice to see a North Lanarkshire do well, you know what I mean? So there is that. But of course, you kind of want to see them limit the damage towards the end of this. That came on and changed the game. You're absolutely right, Spotman, 100%. You're famous now. Exactly it, Alder. Exactly it, man. But you were making some pretty fair points for what I was seeing. It was just, obviously, you know, Rangers fans were discussing the whole handball thing, and as I understood some of their frustrations, but at the end of the day, it was a pretty straightforward call, to be honest. We'll read out the lineups in a moment or so for those that are just coming in. Nice to see all these early doors. We do appreciate it. 3-1 Celtic. Pretty reasonable prediction, Ragnar. It's kind of where I was sitting until I seen the changes to the lineup. I was just kind of hoping that we would have done a system where we could have played Sriracha on the left and maybe Tierney as a centre-back. That would have been nice to see, Scales alongside him, but good old Martin O'Neill traditionality likes his proper centre-back, so it makes sense that he's gone for Scales and Dane. I don't fault it too much. It would have just been nice to see if we were going to be experimenting, how far the experiment would go. And I mean, it's nice, respectable changes. Like I said, it's weird not to see Maeda in the starting lineup, but his form hasn't really merited it, so maybe sitting him on the bench for a little bit and, you know, giving him something to think about would be quite nice. So yeah, there is that. So line-up time, let's get through that. Nice to see you, Flash. Hope you're well, man. McGregor going to be knackered within 88 minutes again. Moy has been pulling a hell of a shift for us, and he'll have to do a few more of them over the next few kind of match days, let's be honest. It does not get easier after this one. For Aberdeen, their lineup is as follows for those that missed it. Maitov is starting it in between the sticks. Mitchell Frame and Alexander Jensen are starting as their full-backs on either side respectively. Jack Milner and Gavin Malloy are their two centre-backs. They've got Dennis, I think it's Geiger, right, that's how it's pronounced, and Heft Nielsen as their two holding midfielders, with Lyle Cameron playing as their central attacking option. We know the man on the left very well. His hair is fine and he does indeed score belters all of the time. It's Stuart fucking Armstrong. Hope he's well, hope he's good, but not today. I hope he has a horrible game. They got fucking Olasunya, I should say, on the right hand side. That could be an overlapping threat. He's got a good crossing leg on him, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, Kevin Nisbet. Nice to see him as always. He's kind of trying to make a late case to be a Scotland international striker, but he does need to find form at some point. For Celtic though, a line-up, although changed, is still very strong and still very capable. Sinisalo, the Finn, starts in between the sticks. Tierney and Araujo hold their spots from the old firm last week, and of course, well, last week I said, technically a few match days ago, like 4 days ago, you know what I'm talking about though. Scales and Dane Murray, likewise, they hold their spots. McGregor and Rio are the two holding midfielders for this one. Luke McCowan, our central attacking midfielder. Nice to see. Hope the big man has a hell of a game, because he has dug his heels in, very much so in terms of the passion side of things over the last few months. Yang and Tinecti either side on hopefully some good crossing options, but we would expect Tinecti to cut in and give Shanshara that little bit of an extra option, because he's probably going to be doing a lot more hold-up play than he would like to see. But hopefully a decent game. Like I said, it's just about getting the 3 points. We know the Pataudry can cause some problems. We just hope VAR doesn't get involved, because it would be very annoying if it did. If Celtic don't sign a row, there will be a riot. It gives me Lustig vibes, you know what I mean? Like the ability lacks a little, but you cannot fault the guy's passion. He absolutely understands the rules of the game. We'll go up here and they should have the little stats thing. It will pop up in a minute or so, and it will update in real time, obviously. But Yeah, I should probably show you this table. We have kicked off on our screen though, just to clarify, but the table is as follows. We need to win. Simple as. If we do, we help Rangers, life is good, but of course that entails that we do get the 3 points. Otherwise, anything besides that, we're below them. So it is quite literally win or bust. We really do not want to lose this game, ideally. Just taking a sweet time with the stats. Only we'll get some refresh and see if it helps. Already there was kind of a half loose ball there up through and it didn't work out. Stats will come up in a second. I suppose we'll just leave it like that. You like Ascal's system? I think a lot of people have been impressed with it, especially the way that it's got like Maswanise kind of working Slattery in the midfield, being a very open-ended type of midfielder that can get really good balls through. Their keeper is fantastic, man. Watt's put in some brilliant shifts this season, so I think they've got a really good understanding of their team from back to front. You can make the case that a few teams in the top 6, you know, Falkirk especially, can make that case as well. They've just got really good team energy and synergy throughout the right areas, and it's lacked in the areas that are needed for Celtic and Rangers. That's probably been the key area and issue for us. For Celtic, it's the attacking. We just don't score goals when we really should. And for Rangers, it's the other end of the pitch. They tend to concede very late goals at stupid times through their own means, and it's caused both the Glasgow side some problems. But every other team has capitalised on that, and you have to give them credit for that much. It's a nice little pass back there. They're going to try and spread the play. Up it goes. Although it's going to go way out to that side. I mean, I respect it from Maitov, if in doubt, I suppose, get it out, but he decided to try and clear out the entire stadium, so that should tell you all you need to know about the pressuring system that we've got going today. Martin O'Neill looks as fantastic as always, now 74 years of age. Got to love it, breaking up a scrap on his 74th birthday, man, that was class. Type of manager that you really want in the dugout in situations like that though. Someone that's got that calm aura, but also the sheer ability to fuck a bitch up if needed. We'll be hoping for the same type of passion and energy in the game today. It's a decent ball over the top from Aberdeen. There was a half chase in behind, but there was never really going to be too much of a issue for Sinisalo to claim that one, and he does indeed do so calmly. Tierney's got it from Scales' pass, tries to shift it forward, nice little ball in behind, and that's what we're going to see a lot from Svanshara. Gets a hold up player, plays it on it to Nectar. That should be a foul. The referee says no. Maybe have to see that one back if he won the ball, but didn't look like it in real time. Celtic still retain the ball anyway. It's a nice little pop over the top and a lovely little touch and go. McCowans tries to shift it, nice little ball, but it's an actual really big mistouch from Aberdeen's defender. That could be something potentially good from us. Frame's been caught out, played out towards that far side. Araujo has it. The Mexican gets moving, good to see it. Lovely feet, still going, cuts it back, and there's a lot of space in the box and a lot of time for him to pick his cross. It's looked over everyone in Maitov. Has a more than enough time to come out and claim it. Maybe not the crossing option the Japanese man should have taken, but I respect it from Rio. Gave himself the option. I suppose it's something. It's a strong Irish accent, brother. I'm Scottish. It's not as if I'm speaking like this, is it? Although to be fair, if you're not from like Scotland or Ireland, people do mix up the accents a lot. It's a decent ball into the box. There's a trip up on Svanshara, although I think it was just his own feet rather than the Aberdeen defender there. Oh, Tierney fires a shot, deflects and goes out wide. Says Sky, I believe it is. He had a mind thought putting Hatate up front might also might work also as he gets a good ball kick. To be fair, if you put him in for like behind, I'd say like behind Nygren's natural position, see where McCowan is now is like the central attacking midfielder. If you put Rio just in behind there, he's kind of like a Mazzala specialist. He really likes to. Oh, that's a nice little flick on, big chance! Celtic lead, and it's Kieran Tierney, the fucking god himself. Good man. Back-to-back games, back-to-back goals, back-to-back balling moments. We love to see it. It's the homegrown hero himself. Brilliant work, Tierney off the corner, but the flick on made that. Pretty sure it was Scales, a big Irishman. They got his big, lovely toe on the end of that one, and it's a really good flick on, actually. That was calculated. He was trying to see if he could get it into anyone, and Tierney was the one switched onto it. Gets on the end of it. First real big chance of the game. Celtic score. Brilliant fucking start. Exactly what we needed, man. Happy days indeed, Jamie. That is a brilliant start, man. Tierney gets there, stretches his leg out on the right foot as well, so you know that he should have 5-star weak foot in FIFA next year, otherwise we riot. But some good defensive work there. on the attacking front. We might not be a defensive team, but my fucking god, can we score when we go forward with our defenders? Nice to see it, man. Back-to-back goals for Tierney in very crucial matches. Talk about a pressure player. Big man. Someone's turned. Ragnar's. I mean, you think the name would be like pure Nordic, but it sounds more like more American. Yeehaw! You love to see it. Lee Tierney is a legend. Absolutely, man. Didn't know your volume was up, but my apologies. It's because most of the time I am very like calm and quiet, and then something happens, and you're like, oh. Goal Celtic that we're very much aware of. Allison 1-0 to the good. Kieran Tierney off a nice little flick on from the corner. Seems that we figured things out for set pieces ever since Martin O'Neill came back. Who would have guessed, man? Love to see it. Loves a goal versus the Dons, exactly. Actually, when you think about it, some of his best goals have actually came against Aberdeen. I wouldn't say it's up there in terms of the quality, but in terms of positional awareness, very smart, very, very clever. Knows exactly what he's doing, man. Love to see it. How are you? Not too bad at all, Tommy, my guy. Hope you're well as well. Oh, hold on, chance, ball into the box. This is what... not too... I was going to say not too bad from Young there. Good pressuring from Efniussen. Don't mind it for the South Korean. He probably could have maybe just about squeezed a shot in. I think it would have been offside anyway. Good bit of physicality for the lad, though. It's what you'd like to see. Although probably not the best dribbling. Calm and quiet most of the time. The other like 25 I am probably louder than like 90% of the people on YouTube, so if there is that. Slippery pitch usually tends to be in Aberdeen. A lot of rain that falls on that pitch at any given time, and it doesn't look like we're in prime conditions today. There's apparently a... Rebel referees just stopped the play there. That's fair enough, I suppose. It's got a few early. Exactly. Do you know what? You're absolutely spot on, Stringology. If we're going to fucking get anything out of this game, it's better to just like get 3 on the board early so that we don't have that chance of messing up. But as far as starts go, very solid. Controlling the ball, controlling the pace of the play. Good positional awareness for all the players. Defensively switched on. Closing down any loose options. I mean, Armstrong can't even do much there because McGregor is right on his ass instantly. We're not pressing in 1s and 2s, it's 3s and 4s. We're keeping the space very, very compressed. It's making it hard for the boys in red to really do much. They're trying to figure something out for this throw in, but it's never really going to be an option. Araujo wins the first flick on, gathered and retained by Dane, and eventually kind of popped up and away. There's a bit of a chase down. Armstrong does well to retain it, pops it back towards his defensive counterpart. Frame just plays it in his space, although puts himself under some pressure, and needless pressure at that. And Celtic have won the ball back. Middle of the park, 4v5 break. That's a lovely play out towards Yang. Good feet, wee man. Cuts inside, still going. Actually, still has it. I don't mind it, but you should have tried to just play that while you had the time. Araujo gets it towards the far side. Nice little 1-2 movement. I mean, Tenecti's basically rotated around with him. Cowan's up there, Svanchara's there, McGregor's pretty much all within about 25 yards of the goal. Lovely pressing motions from us. Rio's got a lot of time and space. Nice little pick and pass. The movement isn't horrible. It's not taking the right bounce. Falls to McGregor from range. Not a bad shot at all, but might have very much switched on to it. Had a bit more time than I probably would have expected from a shot from McGregor for range. Not too bad at all. This is our game in hand, and very much indeed is. Although, to be fair, now that we're 1-0 up, we can look at the table, so let's do and gander at that. There you go. We're ahead of Rangers again. Life is somewhat okay. We're behind Hearts by 5 points as things stand, but again, do keep in mind there are still a good amount of games to play in this season, but time's starting to run out. That's why every single match matters. That's why that Hibs game stung so fucking much. Because technically right now we would be just behind Hearts. But they're not doing what they did last week. They're not sitting on the laurels. They're not taking all the time in the world to figure shit out. Thank you very much, Michael. It's much appreciated. Very kind of you, my guy. I didn't even ask to be there, so that's very kind of you indeed. I always forget that I need to plug like every half an hour or so, but there's not really a breaking player a chance to do that. Though anyone that is subscribing is very much appreciated. Thank you. Well, there's been a few of it. That's a. I thought he was going to take the quick. It would have made more sense if he took the quick throw. He could have got all this on you through there, but held up at the last second. They tried to go for the more traditional throw and they lose it instantly. That is a bad giveaway. Aberdeen are trying to quite literally shoot themselves in the foot. Ball forward from Araujo, 4v4 break. That's a lovely pass and lay-off from I was going to say really good pass and lay-off from Swanchara, but Araujo kind of holds it up. Nice little 1-2 give and go. Calm and collected for Jan. Nice, played it back to McGregor. Oh, Rio, that's probably just a lack of communication there. He probably could have took the extra like 13 milliseconds to see if the fella was there. It was not. Nice to see you, Mark, as always, brother. Here we go. 1-0 who scored. It was Kieran Tierney. It was a corner that, I mean, it was for a set piece. That in itself is like incredible. But very calm from us, honestly. It was a simple ball into the box. Scales does like a mixture of an overhead flick and a flick on. And Tierney's the quickest to react to it. Gets a right leg on the end of it, puts it above Maitov in the middle of the net. 1-0, calm as you like. Like how much you reacted to the game's great reactions. Thank you. That's very kindy, Michael. I'm like Marmite in that sense. People either think I'm way too much or like the most sane Celtic fan there is. I've no idea. It's always middle ground, right? Aberdeen tried to get a ball forward. That's like the only thing they've done in 5 minutes. It did not work out though. Is he playing a 4-2-3-1 with Rio and Kalmak as the double pivot? What he's basically doing is playing with a kind of flat three in the midfield. You've got McGregor kind of anchored in, and what he's basically allowing is Rio to step forward. That's what I'm talking about with that Mazzala role, where he's just rotating in behind McGregor when they're defending, so McGregor can keep the press alive. Make sure that, you know, if Tenekte steps out on the wing on one side or Yank steps out on the other, McGregor's that extra man to kind of chase down the loose ball and keep the pressure on them to force them to pass within 2-3 seconds of getting it. But when we're attacking, Rio's rotated in front and just in behind McCowan, which just gives us that extra lane and option, which is nice to see. It's genuinely like a good bit of energy for Rio, although of course that is probably going to come with a little bit of fatigue in the second half, but we do have a lot of good bodies on the bench we can look to if we need them, so very, very solid in that front, although Aberdeen are trying to do something here, so hold up. Nice little give and go, rolled out towards the right hand side. And they go for a very early cross, which I was going to say wasn't too much of a threat, but Sanazzalo isn't taking chances and tips it over the bar rather than catches it. I don't know if he just thought it was going to go clean over the ball and they just panicked last second, but I mean, I don't disrespect it. I suppose it's the if in doubt rule. Yeah, just kind of panics and has to like palm it over the bar. A little unique, let's say, of a choice decision wise for the shot stopper, but I don't think Jensen will mind getting a corner for that type of cross. It was not ideal, but they can still make something of it. Swung in, near post, deflects, and it's cleared away. That's a lovely clearance for Rio. Jesus Christ, man. There's rugby players that would love a punt like that. I was going to gather it as quick as possible and get it back to the goalkeeper, and they could try and set up and go again. Nice to see you, Jimmy Six Pouches. What a name, man. If that was like an old Western bounty name, it would hit so hard. Aberdeen look clueless. If we don't put 3 past them, we'll not win the league. Well, that was my thinking, was that Aberdeen always step it up whenever it comes to games at Pittodrie specifically. If it was at Celtic Park, I'd be like, yeah, you know, 3-1, 3-0 type win. But it's just because we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot. I mean, look at the Rangers game. The second goal was just down to real inconsistency under a needless bit of pressure that we put on ourselves. First one was basically just us giving the ball away, so we do make our own mistakes, and Aberdeen will be aware of that. They'll try and keep themselves switched on, and if there's a loose deflection or a heavy pass, then one little touch or really good through ball, that can cause us problems. Speaking of problems, here is a chance as they get into the box. It takes that exact deflection and they do get another rebound chance. McGregor doesn't waste any time getting out to close it down though. And like we just said, Aberdeen will try and get any loose chance they can and make something of it. Corner kick on the other side this time. as long as we win, you'll think, aye, the kind of same boat, Mark, for sure. I've started very well, slowed down over the last 5 minutes, but makes sense. You don't want to burn through all your energy too early. Ball into the box is half decent. This got over everyone. They went for it on the half volley, and I respect that much for a fallback. I was always going to get pulled for something. I think it actually went out of play as the corner kick came in. You miss having Joe Hart in goal. If you're talking about like the first season Joe Hart, yes. If you're talking about like the last season Joe Hart, no. No. I think that's the shame about the goalkeepers that we've had over the last like few main ones, with the exception of maybe Foster. It's just not really been consistent enough, I suppose. Like Foster was the definition of consistency. That's why we loved him. Him and Arthur Boric and Craig Gordon as well. Like those three, they're the three that I think of when they're like solid, stable goalkeepers that have like good games in them and the occasional bad one, but like Joe Hart and Schmeichel, they were just a bit inconsistent towards that final year. And I mean, there's a reason why Schmeichel's on the bench right now. Well, not even on the bench, I should say, but not in the first team. Not even wrong, close. Well, so far so good. Cannot complain about the standard of play so far, but 1 goal leads are never safe. Hell, 2 goal leads are never safe. We know that from literally a few days ago. I read that like a Top Gear thing though. Sorry, Flash. Still, could be worse. Although, shit, it could actually get worse. Hold on, chance. There's a ball forward for Aberdeen. All of a sudden, they're actually trying to move forward. That's not the greatest pass into the final third, but Celtic just do enough to clear the lines, and that's about it. The red men are attacking again, played out towards that far side. Whip cross is a lot less dangerous, but again takes the bounce of luck. Nobody's trying to get it clear. Eventually someone steps out, still not really cleared away. Aberdeen go down looking for a penalty, and they've been given it for that. Scales is immediately walking over to the referee to be like, no, that is a dive, and I'm pretty sure it is. Interesting one. What the fuck? McGregor's making the point to the referee, then now that just doesn't seem like it makes sense. Let's have a gander. No. Surely fucking not, man. If that's a penalty, that is incredible. Does he catch him? Oh, he's looking for the... It's one of those ones, isn't it, man? It's soft as shit, but it's going to get given. Brother, you're like 6 foot in black and you're diving. Like, come on, man. Scales feels hard done by, but I mean, I suppose, right? It is unbelievably soft, but I guess by the rules of the game, right? If we get a penalty in one match, it's taken away by the other hand the next one. So here we go, I guess. The traditional random penalty, I guess. Cool. I suppose, I guess, literally this is why I always have a goal for the other team, because there's always just that element, even if we're good and the other team isn't, there's always the bitches in black that can cause us problems. Fair enough. Penalty kick, straight into the net, Sinisalo goes the wrong way, Aberdeen are back into the game, somehow. That's really depressing, man. Fair enough, I suppose. Can't argue with it, I guess. I'm really trying to be optimistic about why that was like so comfortably given. It was just really soft. And I'd say the same if we were given a penalty the other direction, man. I was even saying last match day that I can understand why Rangers fans are frustrated. That just doesn't make sense to me, man. Scales doesn't really do anything but stick his leg out, and again I think it's Olasunya that just looks for it, goes down under basically no contact. Like, it's not even enough to like change Scales' direction of his boot, but the guy goes down and the referees don't want to take any risks, so they just give it, I suppose. Nisbet with a penalty, 1 apiece. Scales is off for the weakest link in that defence. Alva looks more comfortable on the ball and it's his first game, I suppose. I mean, it's not as if they've had a lot of work to do, to be honest. Because it was meant to be Dane originally, it was like a last second change, right? So Again, Arthur will have that like oomph in his step, like this is my chance, I need to play well, but for Scales this is just an average day. He's been on the end of some really harsh penalty calls this season though, man, like that much you have to admit, like the Rangers semi-final call, the goddamn fucking pull down in that the game a few weeks back, and obviously that. But again, I can understand why it was given. It's just unbelievably soft by most people's standards. I think even some Aberdeen fans would agree as much in that sense, but cannot argue with it, I suppose. Got to respond in kind. The way I look at it is that it's just 0-0 again. Don't worry, Celtic will score in the 97th minute. Imagine. Some way to get the 2-1 prediction, I suppose, but nah, I feel like that will kind of put a bit of oomph in Celtic's step. I think that will piss them off. Like, see when Scotland scored against like Brazil in the World Cup the last time we played them, and it's like yes, and then Brazil just went, wait a fucking second, that ain't happening, and they wake up and just play. Would be nice. Don't know why he's showing me Aberdeen's chairmanship. I really do not care. We've been miles better so far. In terms of, well, if you're comparing it to the last first half performance, anything would have been better. Could have fielded like a bunch of 5-year-old children, and there would have been a better like half of football, like from a permanence perspective. But yeah, Celtic have been a little cheesed in the early stages of this one, but again, we know the refs don't really tend to be our friends. Few teams can say that this season. Scales, there we go. Nice, that's a smart pass, but you put Rio under a bit of needless pressure. That's got to be a foul, referee. There we go. Eventually it's given, and the boy tries to pull Rio his feet, but Rio ain't having it. There's Lennon in the crowd. Dunfermline's manager. Literally as the thing comes up, Dunfermline manager. Like, yeah, as if people didn't already know that. Fair enough, I suppose. Celtic to win 3-1. I love the optimism you always have, Tommy, innit? You could be like 3-0 down, you'd be like, come back, win 4-3, 93rd minute, man. Oh, good interception for McGregor. What are you storming for? Did it come off the ref? I thought it came off McGregor. Fair enough, right, drop ball. I was about to say, why did they stop that? It's reasonable. I would love to get O'Reilly. Oh man. Matt O'Reilly. Please. I'd love to get him back. I think every Celtic fan would love to have a player of O'Reilly's calibre back, man. It's a shame what's really happened to him since he's left. He's just not got the development time. Oh my god, chance for Aberdeen potentially. Good step in. Really good step in for Scales. Good work between him and McGregor there, but still not got it clear. Aberdeen are trying to dance forward. Nice step in for Benjamin. Got to say, I was a wee bit concerned when I seen that he was like a last second replacement over Dane, but he's not had too bad. Oh, by the way, actually, yeah, makes sense. Like a scouting mission, plus obviously getting to watch the team that he played for and clearly supports us. You know, a perfect day out as a manager. And it's a tax write-off. All-round win for Neil. Aberdeen are going to win 2-1 up the Dons. Manifestation, I do respect it. Why is a railway predicting a 2-1 win for Aberdeen? I have no idea, but fair enough. I mean, yeah, like, it's what I said, Aberdeen always have this ability to dig in against us, especially at Pittodrie. If it was at Celtic Park, different story, right? That would just annoy us. But the momentum always tends to shift a little bit more towards the Dons' favour here for obvious reasons. Celtic need to kind of shake off the call against us and just kind of get on with it. Hey Dean, guys, nice to see you, brother. Hope you're well. You beat your previous post, keep the exactly. They always do the hard way. They wonder why the average age of the Scottish male is like 60 when they perish. What teams we have to support, man? That's a good ball forward. That's got to be a yellow at the least. It's a drag down. Referees immediately got the yellow card out. That was a real hold. F. Nielsen's gone into the book and a count up. It's a pretty straightforward call. Grabbing him by the shirt, man, trying to carry him like he's some luggage. Referee wasted no time. The Norwegian is in the book. Is he Norwegian or is he Swedish? I don't honestly know. Heath Nielsen's one of... Oh, he's Norwegian. Well, there you go. Well, I stand by my original point. The Norwegian is in the book. Skills is consistently inconsistent. It's so frustrating. Honestly, yeah, you're not wrong in that. I think a few players kind of fit the bill of that this season. I think that's why a lot of people have been frustrated with Maeda, because you know the guy's main thing over the last, the first 2-3 seasons by signing them was the consistency. Bravo. I thought, go on. Oh, I thought he was going to tee up to shoot. Fuck's sake. You should have rattled it, senor. That was not a bad opportunity, man. But again, we're staying forward. Nice little run, ball in behind. Nice, good fucking movement. McCowan's there now as well. Got 4 or 5 overlapping options. Played out to the edge. Nice little 1-2 touch. McGregor's got it in the edge of the area. Takes the weird bounce, but goes in Aberdeen's favour. And I think Milner's just able to, or Milner, sorry, she's just able to kind of get that one clear. Played forward. Scales gets in front. Olasunian just pops it back towards the keeper. Calm enough. Not been any dead moments in play, to be honest with you. The ball's consistently moving, which is nice to see. Araujo gets it again. Trying to instigate a lot of the attack down that right hand side. It's nice to see from a full back. Young opts to play it safe and gets it towards Benji boy. It's weird that we have 2 Benjis, isn't it? We've got Benji Arthur and Nygren as well. I'm going to say, for a guy that's not had many minutes this season, he's got a really good first touch on the ball. Runs it forward, nice little cut back from Yang. He'll open it up for McGregor. And again, Celtic have got about 5 or 6 bodies right behind enemy lines. Lovely pick out pass for McGregor again. He seems to be switched on, but that's not the pick of the pass from McCowan there. Played forward. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, McGregor's able to step out because Rio will immediately run back and cover behind him. That allows us to keep that press alive. And there you go, perfect example. Rio pips it back, McGregor's there to steal it, gets forward, nice little taking touch, go on to connect to get there, son. Good shot. Oh, I thought it crept in at the near post for a split second, but I hit the side netting. Not bad for the Tunisian, but signs of life from us. Like I said, it's good little all-round play there to just keep the hassle alive. Connected maybe just could have fired the shot off a tad earlier, but does well to get it between the legs if the defender just doesn't hit the net. Need to be more direct, exactly like we just were there. I think you still win today, Aberdeen or push. Well, we're a team that can dig in. If you're in the top flight, you're able to cause a surprise, right? Livingston's done it a few times this season and they're rooked to the bottom of the table. Aberdeen still have their pride to fight for. That's a nice little ball out hole. Go on, Fanchara, go for the cross. Not that cross, I thought the ball in behind made way more fucking sense, but tried to go for like a high looper and just totally didn't go on there. Benji, I was just talking about how good your first touch is and then you do that shit, man. Fuck's sake, they're going forward now. Aberdeen have a chance. Good hustling for Scales, gets in front of his man and the cross is way overhit because of the pressure for the Irishman. Good defending for him, but Benji boy, what the fuck was that, man? Tried to be just a bit too calm on the controlled touch and poor giveaway. Lusunian that runs forward and it's a bit late at half on the far side, and yeah, Scales did pretty good there actually, just to make sure that he first of all made sure the cross wasn't easy, and 2 that it was nowhere near a threatening area. Good little one back for Aberdeen there. They're going to try and send it forward again. It's the high line and a fucking gain. Benji's touch is a little lacklustre. Big man, you've got to figure your feet out there. Ball in behind for Aberdeen again. Nice little step out, and this time Benji's heavy touch works out for us. Come on, Arthur, man. You need to wake up, big man. Been a while since we've had a Calmat call up. It has indeed. My belief is it's a certain semi-final. We've not seen an absolute cracker for range. Thoughts on Arthur? I'm not sure. Good presence. He knows where he is. Like, positionally very decent, but his his first touch is kind of letting him down a lot. I think he's just not used to the positional pressure of the Scottish League. Like you know how in England they like to sit back unless you're specifically like a gegenpressing or a high pressing team. You have a bit of time as a centre back, and the SPFL is like, nah, we do not do that here. I think if the big man sorts his feet out a little bit for the second half, he's definitely got a presence in the heart of the defence there. And that's a presence though. Fucking brilliant. Araujo steps in, wins the ball and immediately breaks forward. That is a fucking fallback right there. Into the space. Not a bad ball in either, but comfortably gathered in the end. McGregor's first touch, a lot cleaner than Arthur's a few minutes ago. Or back out towards Araujo. Like I say, man of the match so far for me has to be the right back. As much as the left back's got us the goal of the day, it's mostly been Araujo that's got us into these attacking lanes, especially down that right hand flank. Calm enough for Rio, pops it out towards Araujo again. Nice little lob pass to Yang, that's a decent ball in behind. Rio tries to go for a kind of snatch pass, takes a bounce and it's out for a corner. Never a foul exactly, no, he stood in, got solid contact on it, no bother at all. 15 months, Kev, Jesus Christ, lad. Best damn team in Scotland. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. We're not playing like it right now. We do need that extra goal before half time, ideally, but we do appreciate the support as always, Kev. Much appreciated, brother. Referee's just having a temporary word with some of the players. It always happens when a corner kind of comes in, so I suppose we should just do a bit of plugging while we wait. Please consider subscribing if you are new here. I'm trying to kind of hit the 1888 goal for obvious reasons, right? But besides that, if you are, please just consider leaving a like on the stream. It helps keep us in the algorithm and all that good jazz. The wee Celtic badge for Flash, yes. I've got to say, we started the game like a house on fire and probably burnt out just as quick. Can't say we've been the worst side by any means. We have definitely been the more comfortable side in terms of who's controlled the game, but Aberdeen have made it frustrating in ways that you would probably expect. That's a hefty challenge, and it bounces off a referee for the second time this game, but he wants to go and check on Tierney, so valid enough. No, it's not bad actually, yeah, honestly, you're not wrong at all. Genuinely not wrong at all. What the fuck? Oh, that's unbelievably kind of you, Flash. That's really much appreciated, Chief. Well, thank you very much to him. Anyone that has got a membership, you can thank that man for it. Let's read out the list as they come through. Sparky Spock, congratulations on the membership, my friend. You've got access to some badges and different things. Celtic are trying to break into the box. Is that a corner or a goal kick? I think a goal kick's been given there. Also joining us is Luca, which is nice to see. That wee lad's been watching us for the better part of 2-3 years, so that's more than deserved. I think Jota's done now after the long layoff. That depends on how he reacts when he comes back. It could be a Henrik Larsson when he comes back better from an injury, but it could also be, I don't know, like a Craig Gordon actually as well, kind of like that, but it could also be a polar opposite and totally ruins him. The other ones, let's see who we got. We got Grant Adams, welcome, you're a member as well, and CK Dub as well, 1888. Well, we know we've got a Celtic fan there, not Tarantula guy. Oh, Tarantula guy, love to see it. Not too bad. Celtic do seem to be a player that we really have been fucked with the midweek games. A very stretched out fixture list for us over the last few, say like weeks, at least 3 weeks. We've been pretty stretched in. Top bloke, Flash, top bloke. Jota's no done, he's coming back. Yep, he's due back in literally less than 2 weeks from now. From what we're hearing in the reports, he's not going to be fit for what would be the game after Motherwell. I think the game after that, or the one after, he should be back. He's already training with the team, we've seen the pictures and stuff. Same with Johnston as well, but I think he's due to come back around a week or two after Jota, so there's still about a month, give or take, between the fully fit return of two really key pieces to the team, but they come back right before the split, which is massive for us. already making use of them. Love to see it, man. And by default, because of the pitch would have been fair. But I wouldn't say it's a case of that, but I think there would have been a better time to play them, because we had numerous chances to play like within an 8-day stretch. Well, nah, but we've got Europe coming up. Like, if we weren't in the Europa League, it wouldn't have been as bad. And we do have an obligation to play them out before a certain time, so that's kind of the small issue that we've got with it. Like, I understand why we're playing it, but the only team that benefited from this was Aberdeen. Because, yeah, like 10-15 years ago, if you couldn't field a team, or more importantly, put a team on the field, yeah, you just got told, well, that's it, forfeit then, 3-0 automatic loss. Rules and regulations changed that, sadly, because of TV rights and all that good jazz, plus league rules. There's a whole bunch of reasons, I suppose. Trophy's still coming back to paradise. Well, I better hurry the fuck up, man, because, well, I'm starting to lose on nerves a wee bit. Your formation was quite unique, to be honest with you. Hold up, I can actually do some commentary now. Do apologise for those that are there from here predominantly for that, but there hasn't really been too much happening. It's more or less battles in the midfield. Little deflections here and there, and I think Aberdeen just gave away a throw-in. And I mean just, it looked barely out of play, but yeah, that angle clarity was out of play, fair enough. Throw-in for us, and we're trying to cut us back and send it. Salah was under a bit of pressure from us, but he sends it forward calm enough. I wouldn't say Aberdeen have grown into the game, but they've certainly made their presence felt, you know. Like, oh, that's very kind of you. Gorkuts for Congress. Well, you're that. Well, you're the same fella that was here like a year or two ago. I feel like I recognise the name. We won't want today, Aberdeen look up for it, but so do we. As Tenecti gets any space, there is a good opportunity for Chara. Big deflection, bounces around. Aberdeen are still trying to get it clear, and eventually, look, they're getting very lucky with the bounces in the box. One of them goes our way, problematic for them. Still under pressure. McGregor, good little sidestep. He has been very, very calm in the midfield. Nice ball into the box, could be threatening. The header is half dangerous, and Chara would have been held up either way for the keeper to come out and claim it, so not too bad in that sense. Who do you think will be the next manager? Oh, it's a hard one. Like, if you're asking me, best case scenario is that Knutson just decides for the vibe, fuck it man, I want to be a Celtic manager now. He'd be like the perfect fit for me tactically, 100%. So there is that. But which is Chris flash again with the 18 months. Jesus Christ, a year and a half. Our longest serving member. Hold on a minute. We're breaking forward as we say. That big chance. It's deflected, but still dangerous. McGregor screaming for it in the midfield, but Celtic have basically 4 or 5 bodies in the box. Shot, deflects, bounces again. Starting to fire them in at range and rate now. Nice little move between Araujo. Yang doesn't spin away for it the right way. Tries to stay with it. I respect the physical battle there. Good defence and good attacking from both sides. Very, very kind of you though, Flash. Appreciate the 18 months, man. 3-2 you reckon for Celtic? You have a feeling it's going to be one of those games where you dig in and win it late? Well, Jesus Christ, well, that was a bit of a risky one. Arthur's going to get it back, but Aberdeen put some real goomph into that challenge there. McGregor is up on his feet and fine that. Oh, from Arizona? Hell yeah, man. Good shit. I always love seeing people come in for like North America or like from like the sort, well, basically from the Americas. It's usually that with this time zone nowadays, right? Oh, big chance, big deflection. Could have gone anywhere, but once again bounces more in Aberdeen's favour and straight in Maitov's hands, unfortunately. Good little run from Tenecti on the outside, can't fault the effort. The intention was nice, little layoff was decent, but Tierney's shot just kind of canned off the bottom, I think, of Hef Nielsen's knee. Oh, and we've given the ball away. Bad slip in the midfield, and it's given Aberdeen some options. Your Rangers are going in that hand. Well, fair enough, honestly. Gaz is one of the good ones, for those that are new here anyway. Look who was actually the shot from outside the box, exactly. Our full-backs are more effective attackers than our actual attackers. So I feel like Maeda wouldn't be a bad introduction to make in the second half. just get the pace in behind, and you get a loose ball off a Tenecte shot or something, you've got someone that can run in and clean it up. That's kind of my thinking anyway. Probably what Martin O'Neill's trying to do. Something's wrong with Tierney, he's waving the medical team over. Did he land weird? Oh fuck no, he got studied in the ankles. Hold on a damn fucking second there, mate. I mean, he's gone to the book for a yellow, but he caught Tierney a fucking belter. And to have the old age wisdom quote, I've seen them given. I'm not going to bitch about it too much because it didn't look intentional or anything, but showing the highlights of the goals, back Tierney's finish is obviously the reason we're in this game to begin with, but a really confusing penalty call to say the least. It's a badging, probably the nicest way to summarise it. Not intentional or anything, but so one for any man to take. Right in the worst part of the right in the top of the ankle and all, man. You know that's going to sting like a bitch for a good fucking hour or two now. Put the magic spray on it, get the magic sponge, and you're good. Oh, you're from Canada, Jamie? Fair enough. We do have a bunch of Canadians in here. One of my moderators is from Toronto. Chateau. I don't know if he's in here or not. He might be on shift now, but we have a few Canadian fellas in here, so very nice to see my guy. Welcome. I don't really know if we would consider me a commentary channel. It's more like a watch-along thing. It's more like I try not to lose my shit in real time and people find it somewhat amusing, so... But I actually know ball, so there is that too. Little benefits, I suppose. Another innocent roundhouse kick. Aye, a wee love tap, I suppose. That's McGregor moment, let's go. Run it, McGregor, go big man. Shoot this one, deflects, it's awkward, still bouncing, shot again, deflects and bounces. Fuck's sake, it's the same two things, man. Somehow Rio loses a ball to himself, that is incredible. Another fucking bounce that goes Aberdeen's. This is like FIFA with the fucking sliders up. How is every bounce there somehow back out to an Aberdeen player? They've got magnets on their boots and there's one inside the ball or something like that. Bruh. Should have honestly scored for that chance, but we honestly messed up big style. Oh, is that what you say to yourself to motivate yourself in the mirror when you wake up in the morning? That's adorable. Good, just a little bit off. I hope you're good, guys, mate. Balls play forward and then behind. That's good. Stay with it, it's Finchara, that's not bad. Kind of the same issue as Adamu in the Rangers match a few days ago. I feel like we just need that bit of direct pace in behind. Fucking is. Tell me I'm wrong, and that's like every single time it bounced, it was like the ball just like straight back into that path. Just breaking down Benjamin Arthur's first half, and I mean it's not as if he's done much, but he's won 2 aerial duels, so I suppose there's something. Man flew off. You mean the black plate? That shit sucks, man. Makes you feel like a Victorian child. There's Chamberlain. Probably sitting on the bench and staring at his phone, I'd imagine. He wasn't really good in the first half. He would be a decent bench option, but my thinking is that if you're going to make changes, you would take Rio off, drop McCowan back, and then put Nygren on as a central attacking midfielder. That makes more sense, because it means you've got McCowan for that long range ability. You can still allow McGregor to do the pressing, which has worked very well for us in the first half, and more importantly, it gets Benji Nygren on the pitch, and he has been our goal-scoring contributor by a long shot this season, so that makes more sense to me. Although your thinking's right, I think if you bring Chamberlain on, you've got that kind of composure. It's the same way that Aberdeen are probably looking at Stuart Armstrong. It's like that kind of Premier League experience. It's just nice to have that composure in the midfield, but I don't think McCowan's done too much wrong today. Really just depends on who Martin O'Neill prefers to see the game out with, I think, in my opinion. Nice to see you, Michael. I seen your comment after the Rangers match on the old VOD. I hope you enjoyed their time out of the ball with your dad. Probably had a much better end to the day than the start of it. Might make it back for the second half. Oh, there you go. Clarification that the Canadian man does indeed exist. Oh, McGregor, that touch, man. Genuinely, he has been very good this half. It's so annoying that we're fucking equal in this game from a dodgy-ass penalty call. Ball. What? That's hand! Got to be. It looks like it came off his hand in real time anyway. If that's out by his side, if it's beside him, fair enough. But if it's out by his side, handball. Has to be a handball. His arm's fucking like this. It's got to be checked, man. Svanchara is right there. We might have a penalty decision at the least, surely, man. Hands going up for the referee. I think he's definitely having something going over the comms, but it's quite fucking clear, man. If you're getting penalty calls for basically no contact, that is as clear as contact. They've just waved it off instantly. They didn't even bother to go and check it. They didn't even VAR it. What do we pay the millions a year for? You were more than happy to go and fucking check a non-contact foul about half an hour ago, but a clear handball? No VAR at all. They're not making a strong case for themselves here, are they, man? Ball deflected back in. Celtic are trying to keep it in play. It's ridiculous. I'm not even going to say much else about it, man. It's just why do we have VAR if it's not going to get used? Ridiculous, but fair enough, I suppose. Like, if it was by his side, fully understood. But it's like he's got his arm out, man, and Svanchara's right fucking there. If it gets past him, dodgy ass call. Not by his side, you say there, mate. I know you're used to having defenders like Connor Goldson in your side, and they tend to use their hands to straight up catch and throw the ball half the time, but it's natural positioning. That's my argument. I get why. I'm not sitting there and saying that it's a 100% conclusive penalty, but it would have just been nice to have a look at it, you know, go over and take a gander. If they looked at the monitor and then went, yeah, no, look, it's one of those natural positions, cool, whatever, it just looks a wee bit. Because again, they just spent 2 minutes, like 30 minutes ago, checking to make sure that there was contact on Olasunja, despite there being basically no contact. Give them a penalty for that. But, you know, clear and obvious handball that blocks a goal-scoring run. You'd think. Aye, but you didn't go to the monitor and look. That's what I'm saying. Usually you have a monitor at the side that you go and look at so the referee can have an opinion for himself if he's unsure, but he's literally just went, oh right, cool, and then moved on. If he went and looked, I would have had a bit more respect for it, because it's clearly a weird call, but it's one of those, right? Beryl's make or break this fucking league, and it just seems that this game is a tale of it, right? Aberdeen get one that's a bit and we don't get a check for one that's a bit Same shit as usual, it tends to be that way. Just consistency. I'd like some consistency for the referees. Been saying it since fucking, 2.5 seasons ago, basically. But half-time is half-time, right? Can't really argue with it. We do need to try and get a few more shots that ain't blocks, ideally. Try and get them under the Aberdeen players rather than just bouncing off them. Thought you've been lucky, no sickness. Oh, good for you, my guy. Nice to know that people are taking care of their health, man. That's always nice to see. If there's any games that are on that you want me to take a gander at, by the way, please let me know and I will observe. I don't know if there's any key fixtures that are going on in other leagues or what, so, you know, as those, my predominant focus has been this match here. But at half time, it's been a weird one for sure. We started that very well. Obviously, had a penalty claim at the end, waved away, but Aberdeen got theirs, and that's what's got them back into the game. Pretty much their real threat has came down that left-hand side. They've had some decent runs down there, but besides that, it's mostly just been a little bit of luck with the bounces here and there that have got them into the right areas. Man United? Are they even playing in it? I can check. Hold on, let me take a gander and see. I don't know if there's any Premier League games on, but we will take a little gander. Oh, they're playing Newcastle actually. There's a few games on, fuck's sake, there is actually a few games on. For those that are curious, Arsenal are 1-0 up in their match. Let me just pull up the Premier League results here. So yeah, Brighton are 1-0 down to Arsenal. Forest and City are 1 apiece 60 minutes in. Fulham and West Ham are all square still. Chelsea are 2-1 up against Aston Villa. That's 53 minutes in. And 37 minutes into the game between Newcastle and Man United, it's still all square at 0 apiece. So a couple of interesting scenarios playing out for sure. I'm sure people watched the Wolves and Liverpool game. That was a shit show, to put it nicely. My God, man, Liverpool doing everything they can to make it as awkward for themselves as humanly possible. Nice to see you, Megan. Hope you're well as well, Wes. That was an awful first half. Yeah, we had a good opening 20 minutes. Then, obviously, that penalty decision happened that got Aberdeen back into the game. And then from there, it's just we've only had 1 or 2 half chances rather than clear-cut ones. Despite the fact we put ourselves in positions to have numerous actual clear-cut chances, we just keep cutting it back across the box. Araujo, very impressive. McGregor, very impressive. But I think besides that, there's not been too many key performances that have stood out. I mean, Svenchara is definitely one of the calls that I would maybe consider taking off just because he's not done much in terms of the hold-up play. I feel like you get more out of that out of Maeda just because he can spin his man and run with a bit of pace and at the very least stretch the defence for them out. So there is that. That's kind of what I'm hoping to see in the second half, right? Like if we're going to make a offensive change, it would make sense to go with something like a Maeda, but again, it might just be a simple case of tweaking up the midfield, and that could work too. It's always it's down to like personal opinion, right? People have been given different ideas. But maybe Chamberlain comes on at half time. Maybe we drop McCowan back, bring Nigrin on as a central attacking midfielder. It's a couple of interesting ones. Nice to see you, Chateau, man. Hope you're well. Did you see what happened with Felipe Luis? It was fucking madness. I can't say I have, to be honest, man. Update me. No, we were just talking about you earlier on, Chateau. There's a fellow Canadian man that has made the horrible mistake of finding our channel, so induct him at all costs. You're glad McCown has been given a chance. Arthur looks very good as well. I think take away the first touch aspect of Arthur, pretty solid positional performance for sure. McCowan's been pretty quiet, I think, in that half, but it's good to see him get a start. I was literally saying at the start of the stream, I'm like, it's nice to see McCowan getting played in a natural position. He's not being forced to play as a left back or a right wing or a striker. He's actually being played in his preferred position. Like for once, it's, you know, I think it's earned at the very least. But it's shown that penalty back for Aberdeen, and yeah, Sutton saying the same thing. It's like, I get why, but it is a very soft foul. It's unbelievably soft. And it's that penalty. I want to see the penalty claim back because it looks as clear as day. Like Svenchara's going to get there 100% if it gets past him. Yeah, like McGregor's reaction says always more like this. What is this SpongeBob ass shit that I'm saying? Hi, Flat. Hi, Megan. This ain't high school. Be mad about football or something, man. Like, talk about sport. It's nice to see all the old goddamn, man. I've actually seen a few familiar faces over the last half an hour or so. Very nice and cool to see. We'll get a little kind of check at half time actually. See see what we're doing for subscribers. Oh, we're actually doing very well. We're 1 away from the 1850, which means we are 39 away from the 1888. Vibes. We do love to see it. We're making decent progress. 1850 is... I'll take that. It's not bad at all. So, Felipe Luis won the Copa Libertadores with Flamengo last season. 3 games into the season on Monday night, they won 8-0. On Tuesday he was... He was sacked. What, does the guy that owned fucking Forest own that team as well? What do you mean he gets sacked after winning 8-0? If I won 8-0 and get sacked, I'd be making damn well sure that I say that on my way out. I'm like, right, see, for every goal we scored in the last game, I want that in a severance payment. £1,000 for each goal. What the fuck? I mean, that's unlucky for Luis. Although, to be fair, elite ball knowledge if he's doing well in management, because he was a hell of a fucking footballer. Nice to see it, man. It's like, whenever you see, obviously, players like Javier Mascherano, like, coaching and stuff now, you're like, oh, it's nice to see that the ones that are not necessarily the pinnacle at their time, but you could tell they had a great brain. It's the same way you know that Iniesta or Busquets, if they get into coaching, they'd be fucking brilliant at it, just because their understanding of football tactically is different gravy, man. You're sitting at a bar in Florida. Huh! Why are you in Florida? What's happening, people of Florida? What's good? Support Celtic Football Club today. Your life will become a hell of a lot more stressful, but a lot more worth it. Yeah, like, no, it's very confusing. I don't understand why, like, imagine getting sacked for winning. Imagine being a lawyer and winning a case for a murderer, and then the murderer's like, bro, now that I'm free, and then just plants a knife in your head, you'd be like, you fuck. Like, I'm now against you, like, you know what I mean? If I'm Luis, I'm going to Flamengo's rivals instantly and be like, right, if that's how you want to play it, you big prick, watch what happens. Absolute joke, man. What would have happened to people like Nancy and Russell Morton? Would they've just been taken out back and back of the head, that's it, game over? People of Florida that are listening in the bar, that was not an actual gunshot, do not start running. Please. If you're at a bar, at least get people to buy you drinks that are green themed. What is a green themed drink? I don't drink alcohol, I don't know. What's like some type of I don't honestly know. What's a green drink? The only one I could potentially think of is Maduri. Like the old hangy style bottles. But I think that was more just the glass ball colour rather than the actual liquor itself. Well, that's very kind of you, Megan. Welcome to the full time crew again. We've had a few memberships rejoin today. We've had Flash, Kev and Megan as well, all of the old guard. Like my Golden State Warriors, man, just the elite bench and everything. My All-Stars. Florida could send us some sunshine and vibes. That'd be nice. At the very least, some nice Florida oranges, right? Put them in the juice at half time for the boys and see if that works for them. Give them a wee bit of an energy boost. Just a family holiday. You're just sipping raspberry ice. Do you know what? That is a life to live, Megan. I fucking respect it. Sitting in Florida, a place that is literally known for like alcoholism. It's like Scotland of the States. But sitting out that raspberry iced tea is a unique one. Usually it's like a lemon or a Long Island iced tea type beat, especially if you're at a bar, but fucking fair play. It's a unique left field shout. Just had to let it put up. Sorry if I missed any key components of that conversation. I'm going to look at that article that Flash sent me in chat. Just bear with me a second, everybody. I suppose while I do that, actually, I'll bring up the table so you can look at it. Look at the pain, look at the pain. We're fucking third again. Oh, baby, that's no good, because it means if Motherwell come out and fucking pop us at Celtic Park next week, we are in a very detrimental position, and it's not good for our souls or our sanity. Not good. Just at all. Just saying, guys, based on that comment, you'd be a very horrible Gandalf. You shall pass. Go right ahead. He had 2 days with the sun being out in Belfast. Cunts cutting the grass even though it was waterlogged. Oh my god, yes. The British urge to cut the weather when it's not actively pissing it down, because any other time you know it's going to piss it down. I can imagine that. It's like, oh, Sheree, the weather's decent, get the lawnmower, we're going out. I think Martin O'Neill cuts his grass when it's raining. Probably. Used to drink a drink called Garbage Can. I'm not going to ask what the ingredients were. but fair enough. I'm guessing it's an energy drink. If it's not, and that's just the name of like a martini or something, they probably need to rethink the name. Love the enthusiasm, Mark. This is the day. Do you know, I feel like that will actually be like 100% what will happen, right? Like if Scotland go to the World Cup, we'll get to Miami, right? It's not rained there in however long. In the fucking millisecond Steve Clark and his fucking toenail crosses that state line. Thunderstorm from the gods. I know Florida has some pretty bad tropical storm fronts. They do have a lot of like heavy rain, especially during like summer seasons and shit. I've seen some of the storms that they suffer through. Holy fuck. Like, we get it bad. We have bad winds here. Our winds are always quite high in comparison, so we're used to heavier winds because our houses are built for it. In Florida, they're made out of like planks that thick. So you could cough. Like the big bad wolf would have a fucking field day in Florida, man. Just 10 houses evaporated. Oh, I see, so it did have an energy drink element to it. Vodka with Monster Energy drink and a whole can of Red Bull turned... Oh. So a heart attack in a cup. Or a shot glass, essentially. Very cool. I mean, yeah, with the exceptions of like maybe the Russians, the Irish and the Scots, I'd say the Canadians are an underrated drinking country. They do indeed go hard. They do a beer here called a Gale Drop, and see the signs anyway, that's a local beer, I love that. It's the same whenever you go to Australia and you have like a mad like Wallaby based type fucking name for a drink, you're like, that's cool, at least they're sticking to it. Can't wait when you go like to the north of Scotland, it's like, that's a Highland cow fucking Cortina or some shit. Second half is about to get underway though, so we're going to go back to the stats because we're going to be underway and you'll probably want to be kept up to date with what's happening. No visible changes from Celtic by the looks of it, although just to be 100% sure, I'm going to check to make sure nobody was taken off. Nobody was taken off for either side, it's pretty much as is. We definitely do have really good bench options. That's the kind of benefit that I'm relying on, Crowtails. It's why I'm not worried as of now. We do have those really useful options that can be a real threat. Nickren's obviously our goal scoring master of this season by an absolute mile. Chamberlain's got Premier League experience and has the class to just dig a goal out of nowhere. We do have some options. Oh, only Newcastle are down to 10 men. Well, quickly, I mean, they're all up here. Man City have made it 2-1 in that match. West Ham are winning theirs. It'd be really funny if Brighton gets an equaliser, man. That would like summarise it for them quite nicely. Why is it gone all the way back to this? Is there? Oh yeah, Newcastle are on a red. Jacob Ramsey booked right at the end, but well, not really focused on that. We'll check again in a little bit. Let's use it full time. You can take it easy, man. Aberdeen are trying to break into the box with this one. Nice little pass out to space. It's whipped high and wide. It should be retained by a Don shot, but we do win the first knock on. Aberdeen are going for a bit more of a full press. Wanted taking up the sheep, love to see it. Nice little passing move there from Aberdeen. Little step out. Travella flick on wasn't too bad either. They're still going with a high press, but Celtic setting their shape. That's awkward. That's a great save for Sinisalo. That might be one of the saves of the season, man. That is a brilliant reaction stop for the Finn. Didn't look too threatening, but the ball in just somehow gets over the head of Benjamin Arthur, and it's a great header for Nisbet. Can't take anything away for the contact. He does everything right. But Sinisalo switched on, gets across to it as fast as possible and gets a big hand out, taps it around. Schmeichel could never. But that's not a promising start to the half. Newcastle have just scored. Incredible. Some teams are better with 10 men. Who would have guessed? Ball swung in from the corner. Someone was there on the near post but did not get the contact. I think it was Malloy there. Let's take another little... Huh. Fair enough. From a penalty, I guess. That's interesting. Not ideal if you're a United fan, admittedly, but all the big teams are dropping weird points here and there, with the exception, I mean, Arsenal are 1 up against Brighton, like I said, and City seem to be waking up now against Forest. Aberdeen are trying to break forward again. It's like they've all of a sudden decided to go for a full court attack. Benjamin Arthur gets the clearance away. Celtic will try and get on the end of it. Young does well to get the first touch, but doesn't really recover. It takes a bounce off of the Aberdeen player though, so at the least we get the throw in. But the opening 3 minutes, it's been pretty much all Aberdeen. Showing that Sinisalo stop again. It is a genuinely brilliant stop. That was creeping just under the bar. Fucking excellent reaction stop, big man. Nice to see that there's a keeper I can actually have a tiny bit of faith in. But I don't want to be seeing that too much. If we're like 3-1 or 4-1 up, sure, whatever, but not in a game that you need to win to keep your season alive, man. That's the last thing you want to see. It's just not good enough. Little step in, cut across is good for Rio. Laid off towards, well, I thought it was paid towards McGregor. Araujo gets it instead, played out towards the right hand side, cut back in calm McGregor. The movement is decent enough, but the shifting isn't. Got to run that a bit faster. That's a decent touch, it's still awkward, and again Aberdeen get the bounce of the ball, man, they're getting away with it. Goal for Nottingham, or apparently a goal for Celtic. But if I see you come in here every now and then, people, let's have a little gander and see if Nottingham have scored or not. Oh, Forest have indeed scored. That's interesting. Elliot Anderson's got him back into that one, away from home as well, might I add. Interesting. Sinisalo sends it high. There should be a flick on here. Doesn't get won by anyone in particular, but the touchdown's decent. I'll take that. Calm little shift there. McCowan gets it across. Oh, Tierney, that is not the touch, big man. Fuck's sake. What is it with the defenders and the pure heavy footed? And there's Benjamin doing the same thing. Look, lads, you need to try and take a decent first touch. Stop panicking with the first one. 5 minutes in and we've seen 3 really poor passing giveaways for all the defenders with the exception of Araujo, which means the next time it goes out to Araujo, I'm half expecting to just pass it straight to an Aberdeen shot. It seems that we've rode that early wave of pressure. Nice little step across for Svanchara to make it awkward, but dealt with well. Maitov gets out towards the far side. Frames passes a little lacklustre, to be honest, and well, it was Frame or Malloy, one of the two of them. Do you think Celtic will win this game today? I still have a lot of faith, yeah, but we need to start having shots for range or trying to do something. It's a nice little play across. As soon as I say that, Tierney's teeing up, shoot, big man takes a deflection half a mile now and it's going to go out for a corner kick. But again, slight positives, slight signs of life. I'm not going to complain about that too much, in all honesty. A corner kick ain't half bad, but we need to do something with it ideally. That's the main thing now. Let's see where this one's going to get swung in. McCowan whipped in and awkward. It does come off the head of Scales, but it's always going to be bouncing wide there. It's a half chance at best, but promising. At least he tried to get on the end of it. There was that much you can say. Still not convinced with Svanchara. I'm in the same boat. Yeah, they're really promising debut and some good hold-up play moments in 1 or 2 other games, but I think we've just kind of realised that the big man system doesn't work with us anymore. Like, can you think of the last big striker that it was? Like maybe Samaras? Since then, it's mostly been the kind of small and stout players that do well for us. Your Dembele's, your Kyogos, your Griffiths. Players that are more about tactical movement and intricacies with 1-2 football rather than just a big fella that can header a ball or awkward header back, but Skills does enough to get it back to Sinisalo. Could have been awkward, but dealt with it well enough. I don't like how open-ended the players. We got the cup game next week. Technically in a few days, yeah. 4 days from now. Oof. Yeah, that's alright for you, Rio. That's not bad at all for you, Rio. There we go, good move. Let's run it this time. Nice little step in. That's another fucking stupid... Like, what is it with the heavy touches, lads? Can you fucking sort the feet out now, man? Every time they'll do like a really nice bit of movement and then the very next fucking thing they do is mistouch it in a horrible way. Aberdeen are dancing forward. They may have a chance here. Roll across the face of the 6-yard box, but no real threat on it whatsoever. And I think the flag's gone up for offside about 10 minutes after it should have, so at least the lineman has switched on. You miss Kukamakis. Apparently he's turning it up quite comfortably for Pog, I believe. He's doing alright. Like Kukamakis. Well, you know, I'm talking like consistent. It's been there for numerous years. Kukamakis was there for like a season and a half. I'm talking like a long-standing striker. Last one I can think of is Samaras, to be honest. But it's my case in point, you know what I mean? Like, we have a different style of striker that fits us. You're kind of more intricate ones. I think that's why Maeda works as a striking option for us, just because we use that surprise element of having a guy with a bit of extra pace in the legs. How many goals have we seen that Kyogo scored just by running between two defenders, and that's all you needed to do because the pass would be perfect in behind because you had someone like a Matt O'Reilly that could find that pass. So the Celtic system just needs a few tweaks and changes and all of a sudden things are fine. Back at the right time, Celtic and Forest. I mean, for anyone that existed during the 70s and 80s, it would be like, it's a bit standard for the course, right? We're not pandering when we say that Forest and Celtic are both very iconic clubs. During the second half of the last century specifically, anyway. Kyoko's idol was Nakamura and Kukamakis was Samaras, and I wonder why. I can understand Nakamura, man. Nakamura was one of the reasons I fell in love with football. Such a silky smooth player, man. That's not silky at all, though. There's another fucking missed pass. Lads, take the extra touch for the love of fucking Christ. She's starting to panic every time. Showing the shots this match. Tierney's had 5 shots as a fullback. I mean, Finchara hasn't had a single shot. Tenetti's had 2, McGregor's had 3. We need to take the striker off. Like, I get Martin O'Neill wants to give strikers as much time as possible, but fuck me, you need to make an offensive change. We're stalling out a bit. Just a tad. Yang's knock-on isn't necessarily won or gathered, it's going to be retained by them. Man United have scored, it's 1 apiece, well there you go. Got to admit you were jealous when Fanchara went to use. I mean, I get it to an extent, but he kind of came to us in a weird time. Still trying to find his form. It's the same as Adamu. That's why we were kind of confused why we didn't just go for like Casper Ho, like club striker. He was actively pushing for the move, like 6.5 million. That would have been perfectly fine. And we turned him down for 2 lone players that have combined scored 2 goals. I wouldn't say it's worth it. Manchester United's won his piece. Yeah, we have been updated by Gaz, but we do appreciate that anyway. Tell me. Is he a loan? Yeah. Adamu's a loan with an option to buy. Finchara's are just a 6-month loan. Oh my god, another missed touch, lads. I'm getting fucking fed up with watching you pricks actually stammer over your own feet. Stop fucking panicking, man. You're playing like Sunday League style. Like, just calm it. Slow the place down. Get it to McGregor, man. He's the only one that seems to be comfortable with the ball at his feet. Otherwise, it's a take and touch and move. Take and touch and move. That's a nice flick on of the chase down there. Please get there to Nectar. He does well, but again, the first touch is over hit to fuck. And it's easy for the keeper to come out and claim it. You just let it roll off your chest there, big man. You've got an easy chance. Ugh. Adamu's a beast in FIFA, by the way. It doesn't surprise me. Adamu's actually a really... He's got a lot of good physicality and a lot of good traits when it comes to that kind of hold-up style of play, but again, doesn't really work with Celtic's system. I feel like if you go for an old school 4-4-2 and you place Fanchara and Adamu in the same team, you could get something going with that, but sacrificing the midfield, which is the only half consistent area of a team, is a bit of a needless risk, to be honest with you, especially the way a lot of teams play nowadays with numerous bodies in the midfield. The last thing you want to do is play with a flat back into Aberdeen. Have a chance here, that's a good ball inside, it's not a bad strike either. I think Malloy again was the one that crept in behind. The defenders are starting to gander and bomb forward as well. It wasn't the worst strike, he just caught it a little bit late on the bounce up. Well done, son. If I knew you were talking about that save earlier on. Yeah. Looks like my running theory might be playing out here. We've got Nygren and Maeda warming up on the bench, so looks like we might have an option. That should be a foul for us, ref. No, of course not. Why would it be? We don't get those. That's fucking ridiculous, man. Lovely ball towards Tenecte. Boy has a lot of space to run into and a lot of time to pick his pass. Not the worst, it's a lovely little clearance, but Celtic are in a good area. Tierney laid off for Tenecte. He's just going to stand his man up and see if he can get something to go here. Does well on fucking Jesus Christ. Good hold up for McGregor at least to win that back ball. And ain't half back. Oh, it's offside anyway, I think. And Fincharo headed it like a fucking square-headed nonce. Anyway, bro, you can't just like let it roll off. Was he offside? No, it was just a really bad header. I thought the way he reacted as soon as he like jumped as the flag went up, it didn't even go up on the other side. He was just really bad at headering. You think that would be your strength as a guy that's 6 foot plus, but apparently not. Come on, you bastards. She can get back into the game, man, I believe, but signs of life, man. Show me something. McCowan, corner. Shite, I have to say. There's not much else to say besides that. Not really good. Why doesn't anyone play the 4-4-2 anymore? It's all you know growing up, literally for the reasons I just mentioned. Extra man in the midfield makes the 4-4-2 basically redundant. That was a decent passing attempt. If Rio can get there to close it down, it could still be problematic. Doesn't. Benji Boy's done well to get up. Well, that's a rough one. Scales, do not panic, big man. Thank you. Very, very cool. Back towards Sinisalo. We can calm ourselves and try and go again. 2/3 of this game have been and gone officially now. Running out of time minute by minute. Celtic will be mentally aware of that in the back of their head because it does not get easier from here. Obviously the cup quarter final against Rangers at Ibrox 4 days from now, and then the next league game that follows it is a massive match at Celtic Park against the Steelmen, so we're not putting ourselves in the greatest position. And it's like those changes are going to be made. Finchara is coming off, as well as Luke McCowan, and it's going to be Nygren that will come on, so Rio will drop further back in alongside McGregor. Nygren will get pushed up to central attacking midfield, and Maeda will just be more or less a like-for-like switch. Finchara off, Maeda probably just to burn that pace out in the midfield. Runs through the middle could be crucial for us here, so makes sense to do that. It's not like the sheep to be in a game against Celtic. It's always different at Pittodrie. At Celtic Park, I'll get hammered or whatever, but at Pittodrie they tend to dig in. At least make it difficult. Celtic have still been the better side. It's hard to argue against it on the current run of play, but it's not as if we were taking advantage. But Nielsen and Olasunya are off. Morrison and Balolovic. Or Bilalovic, I'm not too sure how it's pronounced. I don't know what country he's from. Cool hair though, give him that much. Send forward. Over quite literally everyone's head, keeper to keeper there. Maitov to Sinisalo. Arthur just pops it back to Sinisalo, and no real pressure really at all there, to be honest, but so we're trying to find any open route that could be a threat, but not the greatest spread play from Sinisalo. Even he puts his hand up in acknowledgement that it was not the pass to make. Celtic have certainly stalled out. Looks like Sirachi is getting ready to take off his kit behind them, so that might be the next substitution that's being made. pig in a bit here, lads. Goes by substitutes this season, they're bringing that statistic up. Celtic are leading in that front, although just the goal ahead of Hibs and Rangers respectively. But we do have good bench options that we're bringing on, so that could work in our favour. Like I said, Nygren and Maeda are two very... Oh, Rio, big man, do not. But Jesus Christ, lads, this is... You're putting yourselves under the pressure, man. It's like you just want to test your own fucking metal. And the ball just bounces around, and after a cannon pass off of the shin, I think he was trying to get it off the end of his toe, but bounced off the wrong part. Aberdeen gave it away, throw in Celtic. I mean, from Aberdeen's perspective, a point against us is not a bad result in any capacity, but again, with the risky passes, lads, can you fucking stop trying to play out for the back when you're getting pressed by 5 fucking attackers? That is so dumb, man. One loose touch and you're done there. You could fucking see the genuine frustration in McGregor with the arms out, basically suggesting to the other midfielders, run the fuck forward, stop dropping in. I can understand the skipper's frustrations, man. It's like they're fucking scared to step out. And then when they get the ball, they're just stepping further in. Like, lads, you need to go forward. That is a thing, right? I think O'Neill's making sensible changes now to try and get some fucking pace now. I mean, Yang's burnt himself out. He's running his heart out. That's about the only thing I can credit him. Tierney's going to be coming off for Sirachi, and again he's had a much better performance, but I think if he went down with that minor knock, he's not really been running at the same speed, so I think for safety and fitness' sake, O'Neill's made that preemptive call, so Forrest and Sirachi are on. Suicidal policies, I was going on at 120 beats per minute exactly. Like you're running on the pitch with them right now, that's the stress levels. You'd like a goal quickly. I think we all would, to be honest with you, Grotels. Ideally for Celtic, that'd be fantastic. A draw doesn't really do us any favours, to be quite frankly honest. It just puts us in a we need to win every game anyway situation, which is still the case even if we win. But this is technically one of the easier games of the run-in, and we're making it look a lot more difficult than it was, especially given how fucking effective we were in the opening 15-20 minutes. But it's like that penalty decisions just took the wind out of their sails, and then not getting the penalty decision at the end of the half just added to it a little bit. They're still trucking away and trying to find chances, but we need something clear cut. Not some half-ass like pop for the edge of the box. We need like a genuine one-on-one chance. Aberdeen had theirs and nearly scored. It was a great save for Sinisalo. Besides that, not too much attacking rhythm in this half at all. Tenekte pops it back towards Sirachi, quickly shifts it towards Nygren. Nice little cut back, but again, the touch for Rio. Lad, you need to just control yourself. Arthur's going to get to that one first, I'd imagine. Does. Nice little pop back, Sirachi can't. Nygren also can. There we go, a bit better, boys. So at least we're slowing the ball down and trying to keep it moving. That's decent. McGregor cuts it across for Sirachi. Where's the Argentine going to go? Looking for that crossfield pass, doesn't see it, so has to roll it back towards his Irish counterpart, across to Arthur. Scales looking for that over the top. It depends on where it bounces, and I mean Sirachi does well to stay in the right area to get on the end of it. Tenekte holds it up, cut back, Rio latches on it, nice little layoff pass. There's a lot of space for Araujo to maybe take a shot, lays it off instead. Forrest across the face of the box! It's in the back of the net! We've got ourselves a second! Benjamin fucking Nygren! That's why I wanted him on! He just knows where to be! Big man is there, we're back in front. Game is back in our favour as well. Good stuff. Aberdeen made a Swedish substitute, hoping it would benefit them, but the only fucking substitute that's Swedish that seems to be switched on, it's none other than him, unless he's offside. Oh man, it's going to be close. I think he might be off actually. It might be VAR'd. It's a fucking close one. It will depend on the leg of the other guy that's on that 6-yard box. It's not the guy beside him that's a concern, it's the one in front. But it might just be off. Let's see. It's close. It's very fucking close. But he looks shot. It's because of the guy dangling his leg. If he pulls his leg in there, Nygren's 100% off. It's the fact that he's dangling his leg out. His boot might just be playing him on. It's so close. But it looks off by like a tiny ball hair. Still being checked. Because it is, like, the margins are unbelievably fine. It's hard to tell, man. They are checking it. That still image makes it look like he's on. That frame there looks like he's on. The one after looks like he's off. That's how close this call is. We need to just wait and see, because they're drawing the lines. But it looks like, to me, it looks like it counts. It is so close. But it's the guy dangling his leg out, not the guy beside him. That's why I'm thinking. Goal stance, baby! Yes, he's on! We'll need to see the lines, because that is unbelievably close. But the goal has stood. It's on, it counts. It's the defender that... Oh my god, it is, yeah. The defender that dangled his leg. He just dangled it a tiny bit too far. But the commentator... By 6 centimetres. 6 centimetres. That's how close that was. That literal distance right there is the reason we're ahead right now. It stands 2-1 to the good. Unbelievable scenes. We've got what we were due out of this half. Now we just need to make sure it stands. It is so unbelievably close. But like I said, you always wait to see where the lines are drawn, because you can celebrate, you can absolutely, goal stands, we're good. We need another goal ideally, but as it stands, prediction is right. Elite ball knowledge, all that good jazz. They made a change. Guy got us off. Graham Shinnie is on. Only the Aberdeen old guard. The angle is so bad. I know the first one made it look like he was miles off, and then you actually see the behind the line angle, and you're like, oh, he looks on. So it's unbelievably close. But actually, a VAR for once took a minute or two to be like, actually hold this up. We need to make sure it's right, and it is. I'm glad they got the decision correct. It would have been annoying if they were like, nah, it's off, and then you see the lines after the game and it's on or whatever. It's happened once or twice to teams this season. Very fine margins, but sometimes that's the luck you need in football. Come on, the boys is the perfect way to summarise it, but again, Aberdeen are still going to fight. There is plenty of time for them to get something out of this game themselves. That will piss them off the same way that the penalty pissed us off. But if you want a little as it stands, as Sky Sports just showed those that are watching alongside us there, Celtic are back up into second. Even if it is temporary, it's still very nice to see us anywhere besides under them, realistically. Who scored? Jamie, it was Nygren. There was a lovely little ball into the box for Forrest that was the definition of perfectly timed. And Nygren was switched on, just bundles it over the line. Calm enough from him. Big Swede makes sure that he's on the score sheet for yet another game. And it's another substitute goal for us. Takes up to 12 for the season. So at least we know the bench options have been doing us some pretty solid stuff. Oh, they've given it away, Maeda! I need to observe in case the ball bobbled. No, Maeda's just shite. He missed an absolute sitter. I'm sorry, but Malloy slips, gives the ball away, Dyson runs through, and he doesn't just miss. Like, if he missed close, if it hit the side net and like Tenecti did at the end of the first half, you're like, Bro missed the 6-yard box. I have nothing else to add. That is just a bad fucking miss, considering the fact that could have put us to bed, man. My Christ, lad. I just spent like 20 minutes talking about how you would be a great addition to this fucking team in the second half. You go and do that shit. Forrest assist for the Nygren goal. That is very much true. Absolutely spot on, my guy. And a lovely assist at that. Oh, Dyson, get there, big man. Oh, I was going to say he could redeem himself immediately. Or even missed the target. That's my issue. If he missed it, it's like, fair enough. Hit the side net and cool. Bro just missed the entire, like, net. From there, when you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, ridiculous, and if they get an equaliser out of this game, especially late on, that's going to be the reason why most Celtic fans will be like, get him out in the summer. I was spewing it a lot in the first half of the Old Firm last match. I'm like, I love Maeda's ability to get to have the occasional brilliant performance, but it's usually those chances right there that people expect him to take. And 2 seasons ago, he'd be scoring them 9 times out of 10. Now he's scoring them maybe 2 times out of 10, and that drop off in quality is noticeable, sadly. But we're still going at them. 73 minutes plus played in this game, not too long left. You'd say with additional time, probably about 20 minutes with a check. Aberdeen prioritised just getting on the end of that one and away. That Milner's having a weird game. I thought it was the other defender that gave it away, but it was him that slipped and gave my that chance. See you, Francis. On Tenny is a brilliant name, by the way. That is Midwestern as fuck it is to be. Really nice to have you here though. Welcome, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. We're all kind of having minor palpitations in the heart right now, but we're still alive, and more importantly, 3 points to the good as things stand. McGregor shifts it, Sriracha, good feet, nice play into space. He's under some pressure though. Tonight he's not had too much of an impact this game, but he has been quietly doing the key things right. The passing hasn't been miserable from him. Who did Celtic turn 25 million down for? The man on our bench is, well, I was going to say on our bench, a man that will be on our bench again soon, that's currently injured and on the Engels. We call him in jails here just because, you know, I'm loving Angels instead. It just makes sense to me. But yeah, big on. Tenecte, do it. I thought he was going to shoot there. Lays it off. Sriracha's got a whip passing opportunity. Lovely cut back for the Argentine. Come on, big man, shoot there. He doesn't. McGregor does for range after a bounce around, hits the sea of red again. And then Aberdeen go down looking for a foul and get it. Fair enough, I suppose. I've been there a few things, guys. Losing weight regardless of what you try. I've been there a few times. There's a reason I'm a skinny stickman type beat. I literally can't put on weight if I try. That'll be a good one. Hope he returns to his match self with the speed and runs. That's the see, Stephen, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I still want Maeda to stay. Part of me knows that if he has like the closure of knowing that he's set where he's at, he'll fucking run, and he'll run like the wind, and that's the version of Maeda that a lot of us were hoping to see. Like, you know, the same way that you have players that fight for their contracts when they know that their time's coming to a close. That's why a lot of us have been disappointed with players like Maeda and Kasper this season specifically, because Kasper's mentally checked out. It's quite obvious he's been checked out since like fucking mid-November, realistically. And Maeda just doesn't look as interested, and we know that it's not because he's an unprofessional player. He's got one of the most professional mindsets in the sport, but in his head he's like, well, why am I busting ass so hard if everyone else is kind of dropped off? Like, he's just kind of matching everyone else's energy, if that makes sense. It's like he needs to have that competition. That's why he worked brilliantly with Kyogo and with Jota, because he always had to be in amongst the goals to be considered in, you know, the starting 11. Now it's not so much of a problem because there isn't too many threats in our attack, right? Like, it's lone players or Yang, who was a bench option for us 2 years ago. It tells you the kind of slight issues that we're having, if that makes sense. Need another goal pressing in, and we're set now with 5 points in it. Exactly, there's still plenty of time. The way that I was saying that a few days ago, hold on, chance for us to break forward here. Dyson, please get on the end of that, big man, come on. Just lay it back, just lay it. He's decked it. Dyson, big man, please. Stop it. Stop that shit right the fuck now, man. Bro is actively his own worst enemy. I think he's in his own head a wee bit, man. It's like, just steady the touch there, fella. I like that idea from Araujo. Yeah, and Aberdeen have the right idea about trying to pop it in behind, doesn't work out there though. Ah, how you doing, Jordan? Nice to see you. My Commander-in-Chief, hope you're well. That's the team funny. I can literally hear it as well. I can't turn up the volume on this, otherwise you would obviously hear it and copyright bullshit, but Celtic fans are in fine voice in that away end. And up with all the emojis, love to see it, man. You're making use of it. It's like the only cool thing about memberships. It's why I don't ask that people buy memberships. It's why I just say like subscribe. That's the kind of best thing you can do, because it's quite literally free. It doesn't impact your wallets or stuff. But if you're a member, you do get cool emotes and stuff. It's little benefits like that. Looks like Aberdeen are going to be bringing on a myriad of changes for the final 12 odd minutes. And it looks like Milner's going to be one of those defensive changes, so they're going to make sure they've got energy at the back to at least combat this. As well as Jensen as well, he'll be coming off. It's going to be Keskinen, the Finn we were talking about at the start of the game, and Lobben, the two players that I was talking about at the start of the game that could be good off the bench. Those are the two that they bring on. I suppose while we're doing this we should do some plugging. Hi, hello! If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's the best thing you can do to help the channel and makes the suffering worth it. Because my god, is this stressful. If you are already subscribed, please consider leaving a like on the stream. We usually set a goal for these ones at about 25 or 30, so anything around that would be much obliged and much appreciated. Back to football match. Can't wait till the World Cup comes. I think a few people have mixed opinions of it. I just hate the finances behind it. The dynamic pricing can go fuck itself. Hey then, Archie, nice to see you, man. And Watchalong couldn't get live commentary. Got your Watchalong, very entertaining and informative. That's the main kind of goal of it, so I do appreciate that, my guy. It's very, very kind of you. We do our best to try and at least make sure that as much as the suffering in this game is put across, we try and do it in at least a light-hearted enough way. Until we concede, and then I'll lose my shit. But until then, I'm fine. 43 we'll fucking smash that then, cool. We'll set it at 45 then for the vibes. 10 minutes left. Whatever's... you don't have additional time, you'd imagine, with the stoppages for the Czechs. Give or take 3 or 4 minutes right now. You can imagine Aberdeen will start hitting the deck at any point in the next 2 or 3 minutes, looking to burn any extra minute onto the clock for additional time. They'll be trying to angle for 5 or 6. But Celtic are pretty much in the same position that they were with their rivals a few days ago. Rangers were 2-1 up at this stage and they threw it away late. Celtic will be very much aware of that. Aberdeen can just pop up with that random goal, so that third would be very much ideal. Just for my own sake. I've got to say, Rio's not had an impactful game. He's not been absolutely top notch or anything, but he has been a lot more consistent, I think, in ways that people maybe weren't expecting. Shinnie does well to get to the byline and kind of keep the pressure on. It does come off a Celtic body in the end. Goal kick for them. I'm going to take your hat to Aberdeen. Well, in some ways anyway. They've not been totally out of this game, but it feels like that 1-0 against Hearts, or the kind of 2-0s or 5-0s against like Motherwell or whatever. You just feel like they're lacking that key piece. They've got like a decent core there, but the thing about cores is that you need stars. Otherwise there's no point in the core. So yeah, I think Aberdeen will definitely need to do some form of strengthening come the transfer window in the summer. I think they'll be very much aware of that. Celtic are obviously going to be bombarded with things to do come summer. We need a new manager. A bunch of players are going to be leaving off with contract, and obviously players like Maeda and possibly players like Arn and Nygren that could be forced out as well. Because again, keep in mind we only signed Nygren for like 500k or something. So people will be looking at that man and going, even at Celtic having an awful season, this man still got 20 plus goals from midfield. There probably will be an offer or two that will come in for him, but will need to be really assured of taking or not taking. And definitely two teams that could be in better form. As the game's gone on, it's hard to argue that Celtic deserve the lead. Took a pretty lengthy VAR check to confirm when it was onside or not, and it was given, so we've been fucked over by VAR with a penalty, but also blessed by it with that call there, so at least it balances out in karma, right? The whole yin and yang thing. There's no imbalance, so fair enough, I guess, at the end of the day, but I feel like a few Aberdeen fans will have their issues with that. But I don't think they can argue with the overall scoreline as it stands right now. Time is running out very fast for them, and it's always just going to burn some extra seconds off. I feel like Celtic will just try and slow the game down where they can. They know at the end of the day it's not about winning with style, it's just about winning at this point. 3 points is as good as we can ask. And games in hand are always awkward because they can trip you up, and they've caused us some problems for sure, especially in certain aspects of this game. We've not been particularly pretty in a lot of ways, but I think over the course of especially the last kind of 10-15 minutes, Celtic have kind of upped the ante, put a lot more pressure on the ball. I think we've comfortably got about 2/3 of possession to this point, so I think from that perspective we've kind of closed down the opening weird 10-15 minutes that we had, and the weird closing 10-15 minutes that we had in the first and second half respectively. Nice little steal there for Scales, and a lovely wee pop back for Rio. There you go. That's the first touches that I'm talking about, just calm and collected, not trying to move it with pace, just pick your man and make sure that the pass is consistent enough to get it to them. Kind of hard to say who your man of the match is, but for me personally I would have to give this one to McGregor. I think he's been a very key piece. If not, I would say Araujo, particularly for the first half shift. Some really good challenges, lovely through balls. You can make a case for Tierney, you could honestly make a case for Forrest. He's been pretty good since he's came on as well. But I think for me, McGregor, just classic captain's performance, kept the boys composed when heads could have dropped, and put in a half decent shift. That's a very awkward one, ball into the box. Aberdeen are trying to make it. Scales, good header, man, but clear away eventually. That could have been awkward, and that's what I'm saying. Aberdeen can just randomly have a wee spot of pressure, and looks like that's what they're going to try and close out this game by having. Forrest drops back to help Araujo out, and the ball into the box is very lacklustre at best. Arthur clears it away, no real pressure or contest on that one. Would Rio like that? Like what version is going to show up? Yeah, no, he's probably the definition of like the most like inconsistently consistent player. Because when he's great, he is fucking amazing to watch, man. Rio is a hell of a footballer. But every now and then you just have a performance where you wonder how he got into the sport in the first place. You're like, are you sure? Like, you know what you're doing? Like, did you get like Freaky Friday and body swap with some random fella that's never kicked a ball in his life before the second half kicked off or something? Because he does have that ability to just switch off. And speaking of players that do not switch off, he does deserve a wee round of applause. Julian Araujo coming off. The Mexican put in some fucking shift today. Ripping the boys in green and white with a hell of a fight today. And it's going to be Colby Donovan that comes on to see this one out. We can always trust the youngster to get the job done. Decent cross on him in the final 10 minutes. Could be useful if we get a break up that right hand side. But again, I think it's more just for fatigue and fitness, making sure that Araujo's fit for that potential cup match in a few days from now. Celtic just rotating bodies is needed, but again, dangerous game to play when you still have a match to be played. I know, I think a few people are doing the same. I said as much as self as like Rio taking the penalty is a weird one, considering the fact he doesn't score that many. And I get it was because Arm was injured, but you have to get a factor that in. Rio in his first season, the brace against Rangers, that's like, that Rio is the Rio that most of us like hope to see. The same way that the like, for me, the Maeda that I absolutely adore is the one that played in those two games against Bayern Munich. Because even the Bayern Munich players afterwards were like, that guy ran like fuck for like 180 minutes straight, and he didn't even look tired. Like, that Maeda is the Maeda that we miss, and we do get that occasional performance. He's had a few really decent, shifts this season, but I think it's just the theme of Celtic season as a whole this year. It's just been very, very inconsistent. Not just doing enough to be in contention, still be taken seriously, but there is a much noticeable dip in comparison to 12 months ago. That goal against Rangers was unreal. The one for Range, absolutely gorgeous, I remember it. There's been a lot of actually world-class goals in the Old Firms over the last, say about 10-15 matches. I've had things like Tavernier's free kicks, and obviously for us, Kyogo's goals for Range, or Rio's shots for Range, or Jota's lovely little kind of bounce through and the celebrate. I still think that's one of the best celebrations I've seen at an Old Firm in a while. Arm up in the air, everyone surrounding him. That Celtic mentality, man, we just missed that team togetherness. It just isn't there right now, and it's probably why it's translating to weirder results on the pitch, because if you feel like this was a cohesive team, this game would have been wrapped up 4-1 by probably the 50th minute. But made it awkward for ourselves, haven't had as many clear-cut chances. We've had a lot of shots from outside the box and a lot of good, opportunities. Rio's gone in the book there. Doesn't really surprise me, a late trip up. Rio's honestly two different players. He's Jekyll and Hyde, basically. You don't know what version you're going to get, but either way you're going to end up talking about him. Dunwood's going to... That's a really good throw, actually, and a lovely taking touch for Benji Boyle. Nice little spread play. Come on, boys, finish it off with style. Ball cut across. Sriracha, not bad at all, wee man. You probably could have spread the play across. Maybe a tad bit greedy, maybe a tad bit selfish, but I can understand he's thinking. Lovely little move from us again. The layup was inch perfect, and Sriracha, I think he was originally going for the cross and then just put too much on it. Celtic have won the ball back in the midfield quite comfortably, and once again it's McGregor that slows it down and gets the people into the right place. Lovely ball through. Maeda this time turns the engines on, gets there. Not by any means fifth gear, but third is decent enough for you, big man. Come on, Sriracha. McGregor, Celtic starting to play with a bit more pace and purpose. 5 additional minutes are left. That is all there is to play. If Aberdeen want to take something from this, and more importantly take a massive blow to Celtic's season, they're going to need a goal in the next 4.5 minutes. Otherwise, it seems like it's pretty much signed, sealed and delivered for Aberdeen that this season has not been it for them. If you're a Celtic manager, then you're going to Rio's house to wake him up. If this is your day, well, I don't think you can actually legally do that, Caden, but fair enough. Definitely the best season in Scotland. If you're a neutral, Stephen, yeah. If you're a Celtic or Rangers fan, you're like, sure, I get it, but it's just because Celtic and Rangers have been so unbelievably substandard this season. Hearts at their best is Celtic and Rangers at their worst. That's why there's a title fight. Oh, big chance there into the box. Nice little cut back for Sriracha. Got ahead of his man. I'm not disrespecting Hearts when I say that, by the way. When you compare like financial budgets, the fact they're even in the title fight at all is insane, let alone leading it by 5 points. If things stay as is, still a good amount of time to play out of injury time. Looks like zonal marking system for Aberdeen, so whipped high cross most likely, based on the way that Celtic are set. Yeah, that's awkward. It's not fully dealt with. Aberdeen pop it back up. Celtic return the favour by doing the same thing. No one's trying to clear it. Another bounce up. Another pop away. Another bounce up. Another pop away. Another bounce up. Another pop away. For fuck's sake, man. Eventually, a mistouch for an Aberdeen player and it goes out behind. That's what I'm saying. Like, if Celtic win, then it's like we literally hired a manager for 2 months for the vibes to watch him throw away the league and still somehow recovered it with an interim manager in his 70s. If Rangers win it, then they had the literal worst start, arguably, in their history and still managed to recover to win a title. That in itself is fucking incredible. And if Hearts win it, it's their first in... pretty sure it's their first in God, but Have they won a league title? I can't actually fucking remember if they have. Definitely not in the last 40, 50 years. It'd be the first modern title, and that would blow the roof off of Edinburgh. So whoever wins, there's a case to be made that all of them deserve it in their own ways, but the same way you can make the argument that none of them deserve it because they've all been quite inconsistent. It's the season's theme as a whole, just how can we make things confusing week to week? If it's not the referees, it's the, VAR decisions. If it's not the VAR decisions, it's the state of the pitches. If it's not the state of the pitches, it's the state of the stadiums. If it's not the stadiums, it's the fucking behind the scenes. There's always something in Scottish football that's like unique. But a minute and a half left. There is not a lot of time left for Aberdeen to dig something out. They haven't really done too much in terms of trying to force the issue. Celtic are the ones with the ball at the moment. It's a very loose giveaway from the throw-in, but Celtic will keep the pressure on for the vibes, I suppose, might have. Sends a high power header for McGregor. Nice layoff touch for Rio, that's nice. Good football, lovely pass. Rio's got time and space to pick out a pass and picks some cunt in the stands, I guess, because it was just really bad. 1960, so give or take, fucking, how long would that be then? 68, yeah, 66, 7 years. Man, imagine waiting that long for anything. That's why part of me wouldn't be too mad if Hearts do win it. I just think it's annoying that of all the teams, it couldn't have been like a Motherwell. I'd prefer it, honestly, if any team besides Celtic wins it, Motherwell. Because they've actually played good football and deserve to be in it. Hearts have won too many 1-0 games through cheese, or had too many decisions go against for them this season against other teams. For me to be like, that's a valid, they deserve it type thing. Motherwell for me are the ones that are the best in terms of form to watch right now, in terms of actual play style. Watch a Motherwell match. But we've only got about 32 seconds now left in this one. Can lightning strike twice, who knows, man? It's always up for interpretation. Nice to see you. This will be 60 years here. Well, imagine that man going his entire life without witnessing a trophy for his team. O'Neill is not happy, man. He's yelling, but we are officially over the 5 minutes and comfortably so. We're on referee's time now. It just depends on when he wants to blow the whistle. If he does, 3 points is ours. If not, then there may be a late last-ditch attempt to steal something, but it's Celtic's free kick sent up and away. And that's full time. We did not make it comfortable. However, look at the score prediction and tell me that I do not have elite ball knowledge. I will wait. I know my club way too well. I knew this game was not going to be comfortable and that it was going to get real fucking dicey. But 2-1 is 2-1. So for those that are new here, tradition is that we yell very loudly whenever we win. So I do give you the ample warning, lower your volume a tiny little bit, especially if you're wearing headphones. Otherwise there is a chance that your eardrums will vibrate that hard they will implode. Let's get that going. Sinisalo with that save. Honestly, that's probably the greatest thing I've seen this season, just because of the fact that it was a save that actually required some form of skill. I like Sinisalo, man. Yeah, he's earned his respect for me, I think. Just like the boys have earned this. Gentlemen! I just realised that's the wrong fucking screen. That's the right one, you fucking idiot. There we go, gentlemen. You can see me now. Aye, there we go. For the victory! And more importantly, for the win. And for VAR working as intended and actually making the right call after like 10 minutes of fucking waiting. Thank you, James Forrest. Fucking yes! Yes! Was never worried, even for a second. Never concerned, never worried, never stressed. Oh, this club is the fear, man. This club gives you the fear. It is what it is, though. We bounced back. We did what we needed to do. Oh, And we also hit 1850 on subscribers, so very cool. Thank you for that. That is a nice little wrap up. I'd love to see it, man. And as Flash has just put bad direction, I forgot cameras inverted. If you want to join the Discord, you can. We usually just go in afterwards and talk a bunch of shit sometimes. Maybe not tonight, because it's a little bit loud, or a little bit late I should say, and obviously people have their own things to do. 9/11 24/7. Thank you yet again, great commentary. That's no problem at all, bro. More than happy to help. Never in doubt, exactly. Just never in doubt, not stressed in the slightest. Every goddamn fucking fabric in my soul is stressed, but it's worth it to support this wonderful team. Not the cunts that run it, they can still go. I can't legally finish that sentence, but yeah, I like the fact that the boys dug in the day. Solid responsive performance, and again, not the comfortable type of shit that you want to see. However, I got my score prediction right, and that in itself just makes me happy too, man. Yes. Now we just need to do it again a few days from now. The third away game of the week, when we go back to Ibrox for fucking round 2. Turned it on again at the wrong time. I'm sure there's been a few times where you probably said that, like intentionally or otherwise, Megan, giving you a field of work, but fantastic. It's nice to have you back. I hope you're well. Very dramatic half, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you've watched the quality of the goals. Not particularly fantastic, but James Forrest with the assist, so as always, I love him. He's just genuinely my goat. You need to invest in earphones. Sorry, people in the bar. It's not my fault, my accent's loud enough to break the sound barrier. People may be wondering, what are you listening to at the gym? Fucking, I don't know, like a social economic podcast on the current climate crisis of like Chinese politics. Well, that's some rock, I'd imagine. Best part of the stream. It's the best part of the stream for me because I know the stress of it's over and I'm not going to get clipped to oblivion by other rival fans because we fucked it in the 90th minute, and that gives me massive relief. Literally happened a few days ago. There was someone that tagged me in my Discord fucking thing that was like, hey, you've gone like viral, and it was a clip for like January where I was basically saying that Casper's a useless cunt and he should go back to Denmark and that his dad was twice the player, and I'm like, what's wrong about it though? Tell me where I'm wrong, please. You need to invest in your earphones. Just get those fucking, what are the things again that you always see influencers have? They're not the mad glasses things that have like, are the Oakleys that have the wee audio bit at the back, and they're actually really good for that. Like if you're out and about and you want to hear someone but still obviously not make it clear that you're wearing headphones, they are apparently perfect. You're scared for the split. I can't see us winning all of our games. While I agree with that, I don't see every other team winning all their games. That's going to be why the split's as interesting as it is, right? Like, Celtic could probably drop points to like a Motherwell in the split, the same way that Hearts could drop points to Rangers and Rangers could drop points to Falkirk. There are a lot of like trap doors in that split that could trip up any team. The only teams that are going to be really under the pressure, though, are the ones that are in the kind of 3-horse race. And I mean, people have been talking about it this whole season. That's what pisses me off, right? Is that like Scottish football for years has been wanting a title race, and when we do actually get it, everyone's just like, oh, it's a 3-horse race between like Hearts, Rangers, and Celtic. Well, totally like undermining the work that Motherwell have done. Like this is a team that this season, by the way, has gone 8 games straight at Fir Park without conceding a goal. And nobody even mentioned that shit, but they'll mention it every time Hearts get a 1-0 scrappy win where VAR's on their fucking side, or they have like 20 saves for their goalkeeper, because Follow is quite literally single-handedly carrying their fucking season defensively. But that's the issue that I'm having. Motherwell, for me, they've earned my respect this season because they've dug in and shown that even when they've got players that are out injured, their key players out injured, they're still a good fucking side that can cause problems. They beat us 2-0 without Masuihise in their team. With Masuihise, that game could have been 4 or 5. So it's one of those, right? Good goal by Chernity, but still not a loss in 5-1. Oh, Cherniti's goal is wonderful. I can never take away the quality of an overhead kick, but it does require like a slight element of luck. Lawson's was calculated, I would say, if you're going in terms of quality. And my case would be Nakamura. if you're going just for like the quality of a strike, just look at the bend on Nakamura's shot. If a goalkeeper thinks that it's going one way and then it curls back across him, you know you've hit a pillar. For me, Nakamura's strike for range beats out most. Just Lawson's been a close second, and if you're asking for a third, I don't mind the guy's name for Rangers, but there was a free kick that I seen for a cup game in the 70s or 80s, and the way the power on it, like, I'm a Celtic man, but even I had to put my hands up and say, holy fucking shit, if you hit a modern ball like that, it'd be like 200 miles an hour off the boot. Motherwell, Hearts and Rangers all throughout the 5 games at 100 convinced. That's what I'm saying. It's like Motherwell will drop points to Rangers, Rangers will drop points to, like, you know, a Falkirk. Hearts will drop points to us, and then we'll drop points to Rangers. Like, anything can happen in that split. Nobody's got a guaranteed we're winning every single game. When we're going to go. Oh, you're going to go see. I was like, you're going to go see what? And it's like, what's happening? Fair enough, Kane. That's you off for the night, brother. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Hope you enjoy yourself. Have a very nice. Rest of. I was going to say rest of your weekend, and I remembered it was Wednesday mid-sentence. Have a nice rest of your week until the weekend when things could get better or very much worse for us, depending on what happens result-wise. We always love playing 2 Old Firms in a week, and we got another one to come about 2-3 weeks afterwards when the split happens. Nakamura versus McGregor, oof, a hard one. There's been some cracking McGregor goals. Rio's goal for range. I mean, Dembele's like that Scott Brown ball through over the top that Dembele gets on the end of. I just love it for the what's the goalie doing, Tam? I just love the Rangers TV commentators, man. They always sound like depressed out their tits, even when they're winning. It's like, that's a goal for Rangers. What a finish that is. It's just that classic Glaswegian gritty accent I love. I don't like the people that do the commentary, but I love their accents, if that makes sense. Whenever that team scores against them. See, one of the funniest highlight reels to watch the 7-1 like Rangers TV between Liverpool and Rangers, because the commentary is so beautiful. Like, after the 5th one goes in, you can tell both commentators just want to put their jackets on and go home, and they're just sitting there like, that's another goal for Liverpool. Not really surprised there, and you feel for them. Nakas was just unbelievable. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're talking technique, Nakamura. If you're talking skill, Larson. If you're talking absolute fucking shithousery, Chermiti's overhead kick, because the man just did that out of nothing essentially. You're like, how the fuck that going? Fair enough. It's not quite McTominay overhead kick level for me personally, so that's why I'm like, I've seen better literally just this season, but still a hell of a goal. It's one that Rangers fans will obviously be talking about for a while, but I think the thing that smothers it for them is the fact they didn't win the game. If they did, they'd be talking about it a lot more. We need Hearts to drop at least 1 point before the split. I mean, let's have a little look at the run out. Hold on, I'll pull up Hearts' run out here. We're just going to go through some Premier League results for those that missed them. Newcastle are still one apiece between them and United. Will be live until that's over. Chelsea won 4-1 against Aston Villa. West Ham held on for a 1-0 win against Fulham at Craven Cottage. Arsenal held on for a 1-0 win at the Amex as well, and of course Forest and City played out that 2-2 draw. Fair play to Forest, man. That's a very good point for them given the circumstances. Interesting. I mean, for us, not too bad. If you want to look at the table, Jane, I'll pull that up for you now, Chief, just so you can confirm the table as it stands. I mean, I'm sure you don't really care about what's happening in the bottom half, but the top 6 are guaranteed. It's locked in from here. Dundee don't have the point ability to turn it over, so the top 6 are as follows. It's Falkirk in 6th, that's pretty much locked in. Hibs are in 5th, Motherwell are in 4th, Rangers in 3rd, Celtic in 2nd, and Hearts in 1st. But there are still a couple of interesting games to be played out again for Hearts. Let me see, who is their next run out of games? This is their next few. Yeah, up until the split, this is their fixture list. They've got Kilmarnock away, can be a problematic game depending on what version of Killie you get. Dundee, same kind of thing. If you get a still determined defensive performance out of them, they could drop points there. Livingston away is Livingston away, it just comes down to the pitch condition. But the last game in April before the split is fucking massive for every team, right? Because like I said, Hearts and Motherwell need to play each other twice before this season's out. And right before the split, Hearts and Motherwell need to play each other. So that could be a massive game for us in obviously for Motherwell, for Rangers, and quite detrimental to Hearts if they fuck it. For us, it's a little different, right? Our run-out's a wee bit more unique. Let me just, why is it not? I was going to say, man, it was taking his piss though. But we go on to our matches, our run-out's a little bit more interesting. Obviously we have the cup match in a few days from now. But Celtic against Motherwell, like I said, that's a crunch match for us. Like, Motherwell have the toughest run out of everyone, I think. Then you got Dundee United away, then the boys at Paisley at home. So the last game for us is a little easier, just about. But table-wise, we're doing relatively okay. That's why this game was massive, exactly. Because if we go and get a major 3 points against Motherwell, it tees us up quite nicely and gives us that momentum and morality that we kind of need. Hearts hopes to an Arsenal, hope Hearts to an Arsenal and ball. It would be nice, but from us, have a nice night, guys. You're off for a walk. Do be careful and always make sure that you're safe, especially on the streets out there, man. But hope you have a lovely night. If you need us, hope Hearts. I've already read that one. Sorry, do it because it's a McInnes thing. But that's what I'm kind of half counting on. They do like an Aberdeen, like 2012-13 kind of thing, where they fall off right at the end. Aye, this Flash just says there. Pretty much spot on. I don't think we've got too much left to cover, to be entirely honest. Like I said, for man of the match for me, just about, I'd have to give it to McGregor. Very, very close call. But I think McGregor just about edges it for me. But the next match is obviously important. You can see the dates and details down there at the bottom. Obviously the TV channel as well if you want to watch that game. But you can join us here for it as well. You're more than welcome to do so. Kick-off's a bit of a weirder time, a 1 PM kick-off as opposed to the usual 12 or half 12. But again, TV rights and all that jazz. They need to make sure they get the hour of footage in beforehand. But they've always never listened to managers or supporters. Yeah, that probably is the best way to wrap it up, honestly. You've pretty much hit the nail on the head. Just having a little look at the analytics. We've done fucking well. We smashed 50 likes. That's like double. Literally double as good as the last stream. Very, very nice use, man. And apparently we peaked out at over 150 viewers at one point, so unbelievably kind of use for a midweek match against a out-of-form Aberdeen side. I think Flash sums up quite nicely. I think a lot of us are in that same boat. I feel like the board will have one transfer window in the summer to basically salvage in, and because that's what they're putting this on. They're like, oh, wait till summer and we'll do all the investment then. If they don't do investment in the summer, oh boy, are they under a lot of pressure right after that. But it's one of those. But I think as a whole we'll take that, right. Scrappy win, but a decent win nonetheless. I don't really know how the next game will go. The good news is because I literally just made a Rangers and Celtic thumbnail, I can basically repurpose it, add some cup images in, and boom, thumbnail for that's made. So I've not got too much work to do in that sense. I think there's pretty much everything. Anyone that's left in chat, if you've got any more questions, please consider throwing them in. Otherwise, we're wrapping things up as soon as the Newcastle have just scored. Literally, I went to check right as I said that, and they've just scored with 10 men. That's incredible. We'll be waiting until that game's finished. We'll just leave that up on the side while we do our own things. But it's nice to see you, CK Dub, man. It's always nice to have people there, because I know it's hard to talk in chats a lot of the time, so getting a membership gives you a bit more of an incentive. It's nice to see you kind of come out your shell and join in with the lads. It's nice to see. And Michael get to for, yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy, specifically. Oh, you as well, Shadow. Absolutely love to see. I don't know if James is still in here, but that's the boy from Toronto I was telling you about. So we had a good mix of people. I was looking at the kind of analytics there. Apparently about 15 to 20% of the people in here tonight were from either North America or from places around America in general. There's one or two Brazilians as well, apparently, so shout out to those people. I don't know how you understand me, but Vamonos. Or Vamos, is it Vamos or Vamonos? I think it's both, technically, right? I appreciate you for being, oh, that's very kind, man. Not bother at all. Okay, I do this for fun most of the time anyway, so it's nice when people stick around and enjoy what they see. It kind of makes it worthwhile putting all this stuff together, especially considering the fact I'm not a social creature, so that's very, very kind of my guy, that's very much appreciated. I'm keeping a tab because I know that it's up there, but I've also got the game on the side there just to see if anything happens, but there's a decent goal for that William Ostler, by the way. If that's his name, is that his name? I don't want to mispronounce it, is it? Also, just to be sure, because I've done that before where it's like, there's a guy with a really easy name to pronounce and then it's like a whole different thing. It's like Fernandez. Everyone thinks it's Fernandez and then it's like Fernandes. Or Šeško. Everyone else, but it's Benjamin Sisko, it's not Šeško. It's because the S and the S. Interesting. Fair play if Newcastle can hold out though. I remember when people tried to start that whole thing. That's why I had to nickname I think the crew. Like, you should rename it the army. You should be like, it should be your like Fenian army. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. As much as I would like to, I'm pretty sure there's TOS that will kick me in the teeth. Your final league predictions: Hearts, Motherwell, Celtic, and then Sevco. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, for me, I think Motherwell, if they win it, I'd prefer them just a bit more. Like, if Celtic don't win it, I'd prefer it be like Motherwell, Celtic, Hearts, Rangers. And it's just because like Hearts do deserve to finish in the top three because they have been the consistent team this season. I feel like, Celtic, if we're not going to win it, second is obviously the second best you can get, so we're taking that. I'm not going to put fucking Rangers there, am I? So they're down in fourth. And then Motherwell would take it from me. But my head, and what I'm hoping is that it goes Celtic, Motherwell, then most likely it'd be Rangers and Hearts. It could happen. It would just be funny to see Hearts implode after all the kind of cockiness of their fans, despite the fact they've had a lot of luck at certain times this season. But every team has, right? Even Motherwell have rode the luck at certain points where they shouldn't have got points in games and somehow did get points. Celtic have done the same. Look at the fucking 3-game streak with the 93rd plus minute winners. We've definitely dug ourselves out of some pretty dark and really dingy holes, so Hearts are obviously going to be doing the same thing. It's just they need to show that champion mentality. That's like why I'm like kind of reining back a little bit, because they're still a little bit off of it. There's still 4 games, and then obviously the additional 5 of the split. That's a 27 odd point swing. Nothing is set in stone just yet. Not until like the 3rd or 4th match day, and if Hearts are 4 points ahead in that split scenario, it's one of those. So it's definitely interesting. But I think we'll get ready to wrap things up here because we'll be getting to the end of this one relatively soon. Commentators are just talking about how full time's approaching with Proud Scots. Oh, of course. I mean, a predominant amount of, obviously, Scottish and Irish. A couple of Australians and stuff like that as well that you kind of see pop in every now and then. It's always time zone based. If I stream later in the day, it tends to mostly be like a higher mix of Northern Americans, but if I'm streaming in the morning, it tends to be more actually like Asian orientated, actually, which is kind of interesting. It's nice to have a different mix of people. I know English is a universal language, but Scottish is not. So the fact that I have anyone outside of Scotland and England watching my streams is kind of surprising to me, to be quite frankly honest. But it's always appreciated nonetheless. Makes me happy. I'm just seeing what you sent me on there. Oh yeah, the Philippe Luis thing. Jesus Christ, yeah, they did actually do that thing. That's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Nonetheless, let me just pull up all the things that I need to pull up before we wrap things up here. I think about that would do. just seen this one out for the sake of it. I was hoping that they would wrap it up around the 92nd or 3rd minute, but I'm going to guess they're having a decent amount of additional time. Should give yourself some credit, mate. Worth watching your show. It's comments like that make it worthwhile, to be honest. You should see it on a derby day if we're losing, my guy, because there is a lot of negative comments that you need to deal with as a Celtic fan channel, but stuff like that's what makes it worth it. I only started this as like a hobby thing to be like, well, I like football and I like talking about it, and I need to like do something before like COVID ruins my mental state, so kind of last ditch attempt to reach out, I guess, and it worked. So life is alright in that sense. It's kind of cool because I built up a decent wee community, so you're definitely going to be safe here because again the moderators are absolutely top class blokes. The people that are in the Discord are absolutely fantastic people. Good mix of different characters. I'm sure you've seen some of the names in the chat, but we have people that range from like, you know, retired people that are living out in the Philippines, living their best life, to porn stars, to anyone in between. It's like, it's a unique ass community, but very cool one at the same time. It's mostly full of solid down to earth people, and that's the kind of, you know, it's the kind of vibe that we try and instill on this channel specifically. It's not kid friendly, we swear a lot, we'll lose our shit, we'll call players all the names in the world, but it's always with passionate intent rather than bad. So, very kind words, man. Hail, nice to see you trying to man. Not the Celtic you grew up with, but damn, you do enjoy watching the competitiveness all round. Yeah, but I think that's what a lot of us are kind of sitting back and going, do you know what? It's nice that even though we're having a shit season, it's not as if it meant nothing, right? It's not as if we've had a shit season and Celtic and Rangers are still 10-15 points ahead of everyone else. Other teams have capitalised, and that's what I like to see. It's, you know, little positive things like that, you know, that Motherwell are slowly but surely improving. Aberdeen, despite their kind of low area right now, they've got a lot of things to look forward to. Obviously their chairman's got the new stadium in the works and all that as well, so they do have positive things to look forward to. Teams like Hearts are self-explanatory. Celtic and Rangers, they're the only two that are really stagnating, but that's just because of the financial difference in Europe. You feel like if there's one good run for either one of those teams, especially in the top tier in the Champions League, then you're coming back, oh, that's very kind of my guy. So I know I have a lot of people that either can't type or they're watching it on their phone on the side, so they just don't have like live chats open. So I don't get anyone shit for doing that, because I do the same thing sometimes. Like, I mean, one of my moderators is literally a streamer. Whenever he's live on Twitch, I do the same thing. Like, if I'm busy, I'll just put it on the side and I'll just sit there as a viewer, but I won't be typing and be like, hi, how are you? I'll just be like, I'm there. That's good enough. And honestly, that's all I can really ask for. Scottish football's improved massively over the last few years. Imagine if with half the budget, not even half, a quarter or even a tenth. There's lads in the League 2 in England that get more money than Celtic for winning the SPFL. Most of our money comes from European success. That's why getting knocked out by Kairat at the start of the season was a really bad omen, because you know that immediately the Celtic's plan, like, for the next 12 months, gone. Like, the Celtic plan collapsed because they were like, oh, we'll just invest a little bit more once we've got the guarantee of Champions League qualification. We don't qualify, then we don't invest. We don't invest, the team takes a hit, we lose a couple of key pieces on basically deadline day for the summer window, and that fucks us essentially, because once a few key players get injured, obviously we know Jaw and all that as well, still technically being out for another few weeks yet, but back at the start of the season it was months, so we knew that we had to invest and didn't. That's pretty much the main reason why other teams are in the title fight. If Celtic were just a bit more a bit less complacent and the board were a bit more switched on, this wouldn't be playing out, right? But that is what it is. It is full time between Newcastle though, so I think that's basically everything that I need to do wrapped up and done. So let me pull up all the things that I need to pull up and get ready to bail out, because we are now close to 10:30. I do need to go and make some food. I think that would be an ideal thing for me to do. There we go. Let's get ready to wrap this up then, shall we, gentlemen? It's been a pleasure by all accounts, so let's try and make this one a half a decent end. So, if you've been watching for a little bit of the stream of the whole thing, thank you very much for joining us. Anyone that's subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. We kind of had a minor sub goal in 1850, so very much appreciated. Anyone that donated or anyone that gifted memberships, Flash, Megan, Kev, you're all very much appreciated as well. Of course, if you want to join us for the next game, you are more than welcome to do so. That will be 4 days from now, 8th of March. It will be a very crucial match for both Celtic and Rangers this season when it comes to chasing that double dream. If Celtic win it, especially at Ibrox, it's a massive morale booster, but if we lose it, not the worst case scenario, because we can focus specifically on the domestic run out for the league. It's going to be one of those games. I don't think it will be as high energy as the 2-2 draw from last time out, but certainly definitely one to keep watching. It's been a pleasure doing this for you. You take it easy as well, CK mate. Pleasure to have you as always. And I think that's basically everything that needs to be covered. We can leave it there. Like I said, join us next time if you would like to. Any, feedback is more than appreciated. And if you go down to the Discord description thing, you can get the name of it, search up in Discord, and you're more than welcome to join. It's totally free, and you get a bunch of extra little tidbits and behind the scenes stuff. So that's basically everything. Like I said, join us on the 8th if you would like to. If not, that's totally fine. See you next time though, and as always, Celtic are still the best goddamn team on the planet. I'll catch you after. Until then though, hail, have a good one. Take it easy. God, son! Good win.